everyone, today is Thursday, the 8th of November, 2018. It's The Gap, episode 444. I'm Luke Lawrie. Joab Gilroy's here. What's going on, Joab?
Busy, I guess. Just working.
End of the year. Six weeks left.
That's
7
it.
weeks?
Yeah, we got
8 weeks.
Battlefield coming out, tomorrow, right? The early access shit is tomorrow.
Sure.
But esports stuff, I mean, BlizzCon was last weekend. Um, we got like League of Origins kicking off this week. Gfinity's back on. So work-wise, I'm extremely busy. But yeah, other than that, also making me busy is the fact that I continue to play about at least 6 hours of Red Dead a day. So that's not helping. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What's
I
going on?
guess at least. It's been busy. Still things happening. Like, there's a couple preview events still going on for, like, things that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's been pretty flat out. So,
Yeah. Yep.
like, on top of there not being really any games the last week or two, apart from Red Dead, but I already, I finished that a while back. But
Yep.
it's kind of like this lull where there's a few things coming out really soon, so
Yeah.
it'll kick back up again.
It'd be weird. I imagine it'd be weird for you because you finished it like just after it released. So you would be a little bit removed. You'd be stuck in the same sort of dead zone that I guess all the publishers would feel is the 2 week period post Red Dead's release, right? Because you'd be
Yeah,
fucking insane to try to release a game now. Call of
yeah.
Duty got stomped by it.
Hmm.
Got stomped by it. It hurt Activision's share prices. It got stomped hard enough. What the fuck? Did your cat just sneeze?
Oh, it's probably a hairball.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think that was also in part to the BlizzCon stuff, but we'll get to that a bit later.
We will.
But in saying that, like the Call of Duty Black Ops has been the game that I've been I've been playing.
Yeah.
That's like, hey guys, want to play some Black Ops? Everyone's like, I'm playing Red Dead. I'm like, it's not that good anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. It's fine, I guess. Just hurry up.
And surprisingly, I can still get games going.
Weird.
I
Weird.
know, right? Yeah.
I saw the other day that PUBG North American servers had a matchmaking bug that meant that people were waiting for hours on it to get into a game.
Mm.
Weird.
Mm.
Weird.
I think it's a population issue.
I think North
Personally.
America just doesn't have the population to sustain a PUBG matchmaking. Yeah, unfortunately, sadly.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I guess they'll just you'll just have to wait the full time. No, actually, PUBG Corp patched it in 2 days. They fixed it up
I
in
know,
two
right?
days, and OCE servers are back to broken. I know I've gone on like a fucking broken record about this, but I legitimately think that has been a deliberate effort from PUBG Corp to kill OCE PUBG. 100%, because server costs are too prohibitive, and they feel like it's better if they just kill the servers.
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
One day we're
Um,
gonna get some fucking background on that, and I'm gonna be proved correct for the billionth time. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some games. But maybe first off, you went to a weird thing this week where you played video games while getting stuff shot at your face. Is that right?
Yeah, sort of. The Festival of Dangerous Ideas was on at Cockatoo Island. So that's an island in the middle of the fucking Sydney Harbour type area.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not that far from me. But yeah, so I went to that, and I was part of a performance arts exhibit, which confirms all of my theories that I am a performance art piece. But this was actually separate to that. I was just part of the exhibit itself. It was called What Is It Without the Hand That Wields?
Right.
what it is without the hand that wields. One or the other. But it was actually version 2.0 of this, uh, I guess, piece. So the first piece, the first version of it was from like a decade ago, and a guy basically rigged up a Counter Strike server to then spit out like a droplet of blood every time someone got killed
Mm-hmm.
on the server. Someone every time someone died on the server, there was a drop of blood, and he rigged it up, and basically it was a open server. Anyone could join, anyone could kill as many people as they liked, and the exhibit itself was the drops, and they would like drop in, and you could see this blood fill up and stuff like that. And so originally, that's what the festival wanted. They wanted to get that on deck and have people play it. But he actually, his name is Riley. I spoke to him a lot actually because I was there on the Sunday. There were 2 days that they did it, Saturday and Sunday. I was the only one there basically the whole day. I should not have gone in at 8:30. They said like you had to come down at 8:30. I should not have gone there.
Classic Joab goes there when they tell you to.
Yeah, because the first fucking thing wasn't until like 11:30. So I was just there for 3 hours, and it didn't open until like 11. So I was there for like 2.5 hours doing nothing, just listening to my audiobook, basically wandering around Cocktail Island and soaking up the sun. But then, yeah, the first session kicked off, and so he tweaked it. He'd done it differently, and so now instead it was actual on-site performance art where players would sit down and play Counter-Strike, and when they got a kill, they would get sprayed in the face with basically like theater blood, like slightly watered down theater blood. And the idea, I guess, was that you look like a bloody mess by the end. So we're playing. It was deathmatch Counter Strike. He used Counter Strike because he knows the API, and so all he had to do was write like a hook that would translate damage dealt into something that he could then translate into triggering the hydraulics on the sprayers. And he was saying that he's done it for other things. He's like done it so that. Like use the same system, same basic concept for other things, like where when people like input commands into a game, it outputs as like fucking what do they call it, musical notations, and then he has a live band playing the music as it's created by a player.
Sure.
And the other thing I think he said he did was use it to like capture music, and that would output, and it would output into like sprays, so that he would have basically music represented visually or whatever the fuck, right? So yeah, it's like not a one. It's not like only for this one purpose, but basically what he wanted to do was create that old thing, but like his old version 1 of his sculpture, and represent it in a newer version, more engaging, active version. And yeah, so I got involved. They asked, and I sort of like I was pretty skeptical when I was going in, because I'm like, are people going to really like treating this like, oh, video games are evil, oh, violence of video games, etc., etc. I don't really want to like hold that up or whatever, but no, instead I like personally I just sort of reconciled within myself this idea that, like, if anything, it sort of further separates, it further defines the separation between games and reality, because it's not real blood, and like the actions I'm taking, they're 1000% divorced from the actual reality of doing like committing violence against another person. It was like ultimately a, like a goof. Like I found it pretty funny. I mean, it was initially off-putting. Like I did it twice. I did it for 2 sessions. I did the initial session, which was half an hour after the place opened, and it was empty. And I did the full session when like the whole thing was in full swing. We had a packed crowd. We had like all the computers were being played, as opposed to the first one. I think there was 4 of us, and we had some bots on deck. Yeah, the second one we had a full deck. I left after that one because apparently like the last session's always pretty much like the first one, and I felt like I'd done enough. They weren't paying me to be there, so yeah, I did the first one, and yeah, like you're sitting there, and it sprays you, and it is initially off-putting. It's definitely off-putting. Like it's a spray in the face of something, right? Like it works on cats, right? You want a cat to not do something, you spray them in the face, right? So yeah, you get like a fucking squirt of fucking shit in your eyes, and you're like, eh. And then over time, you just sort of get used to it. You're just like, fucking whatever. Just shut the fuck up and kill, damn it. Yeah, we're playing on FY Ice World. Do you remember Ice World? That tiny map with a cross in the center and like the outsides, and there's always all those guns at the bottom. I always remember, I would have thought we'd play on that, or do you remember that other one? It was like Blood something. I thought Blood.
It was like a square, right?
Yeah, a square, and it had the same amount, like guns everywhere and that kind of shit. Do you remember what it was called? I can't remember what it was called. It was like Blood something, but I thought whatever that was, considering it had blood in the name, would have been a more apt map. But apparently Riley really liked Ice World. It was like a favorite map of his. So yeah, we played that, and yeah, we're just first session just slaying. I was playing with Miles, who used to be on Screenplay, is a Call of Duty CWL like caster. Yeah, like good dude. We're friends, I guess. I don't know, professional acquaintances, whatever. But yeah, it was good playing alongside him. I destroyed him. I destroyed everyone. It was actually pretty easy to win. I don't understand if they put the call out for Counter-Strike players or just gamers in general or what, but I fucked everyone. It was good times. And yeah, by the end, I looked like a absolute bloody mess. We had to be really careful. One of the really interesting things is because Cockatoo Island is a World Heritage site, I think. They had to be really careful with not getting the sprayed blood fucking everywhere behind us. So they toned down the spray a bit, because if they'd gone too hard, then it would have like sprayed the sandstone behind them, and they would have had all this cleanup stuff. And so there was sort of like a murder scene type like layout underneath it, because you were like on top of all this protective shit. So it wasn't plastic sheeting, but it was sheeting, and then you had this path that you had to walk on. You weren't allowed to walk off the path if you'd been sprayed with blood, lest you drip onto the floors, the sandstone floors, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so there was like there was a lot of like structure around this concept of getting sprayed in the face while playing Counter-Strike.
Right.
It was good fun though. And the second one, yeah, it was packed, and it felt a lot easier to get a lot of kills. I mean, that's always the way in deathmatch, right? Like the more players, the more opportunities you have to kill people. But yeah, it was an interesting one. Again, sure. I started, and the initial sprays in the face were off-putting, and then you accustom yourself to it, and you're like, don't worry about this, I got this. They were, I guess, they had analyzed that I was I was decent at Counter-Strike. Well, my skills haven't all like left me behind yet.
So they ran out of blood.
No. They live streamed it. You can actually go watch it if you go on the Festival of Dangerous Ideas Facebook page. They live streamed it, and the viewpoint of the player they spent most of the time on was me. They were telling me afterwards. I haven't watched it back because I don't know. But I know for a fact I got 2 fucking spectacular double bangs, like beautiful double bangs at the AWP, and I nearly got one with the scout, which I was fucking gutted. I didn't get the kill, but yeah, I would have been very happy. I lined them up perfectly. I got well in the zone by the end. I was just fucking banging cunts all over the place. So yeah. I was on fire. I won the deathmatch. At one point, the person who was coming second, this chick who was sitting across from me, she'd switched to my side because 3 of them had sat down on the other side at the start of the session. I sat down alone in the same seat I'd sat down before, and all 3 of them joined terrorists, and I joined the counter terrorist team. And so I was playing alone for a little bit, fucking caning motherfuckers, because I've got 3 options, they've only got 1. But 5 minutes in, this chick switched to my team, and so it was 2v2, and then the seats almost immediately filled out, and so it was just it was even Stevens. It was 4v4, and yeah, this chick, like the same chick, switched back to the terrorist side right near the end. Because I heard her talking. We didn't have headphones or anything. I heard her talking. She's like, "Oh, the only person beating me is on the same team as me. I can't catch him up unless I kill him specifically. So I'm going to switch back to your team." And so she did. And it was a mistake because the teams were all lopsided again. We had fewer players than them, and as always, more opportunities to kill. So I struck out an even larger lead and managed to win it all. I got a bunch of knife kills, which was always entertaining. I don't know if it was on purpose. I think it's tweaked to the amount of damage you do, but it didn't feel like it translated like that with an AWP. But I felt like the knife kills sprayed you with more blood. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was even translating that, but I felt like getting knife kills sprayed you with the most blood out of any attack.
Well, it makes sense because you're closer, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So it's our background image for today. People would have seen.
Right, if they're on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube.
Are you going to use it for the promo picture?
Sure.
Cool.
It is very disturbing.
Gold. That was like, I didn't take a photo. I think I was bloodier in the first game. I think they diluted it more for the second, so it was a bit runnier. Because my shirt after the first game was crazy. Yeah, crazy bloody, and it was like thick. But yeah, I think they diluted it a bit more, like watered it down a little bit more. Maybe they were worried about running out. I don't know. But yeah. So it didn't look as bloody as I thought it would. But I did take a photo of the first session before I'd wiped my face. So all I had was like streaks of blood in my neck beard. And yeah, I guess that was it. And then I had to go, then I went home, covered in blood. Or fake blood. I had to catch a ferry, and then I had to catch a bus to get home. And yeah, I got some looks. I got some pretty weird looks. But I changed my shirt, so only my pants were soaked in blood. And so it looked like I had the most violent orgasm of all time. Like, I'd come so much that I'd gone through the semen and all the way, and I'd started coming blood. That's what it looked like. Like, my pants were just disgusting. But yeah, it washed out really easy, which is cool. All of it washed out really quick. Only one wash, didn't even need like stain remover or anything. So yeah, that was good. And yeah, that was about it. It was like ultimately a really interesting experience. I'm glad. I'm 100% glad I did it. It was a lot of fun, and like I just had fun smashing motherfuckers at Counter Strike, and then then I went back and played some Red Dead. Easy peasy.
Cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, and I reckon they should take it to IEM or something. They should do it at IEM. I reckon it'd smash at IEM. It'd go so well with a bunch of like hardcore Counter Strike players on deck to try it out.
Yeah.
Like
I think you need to tone it up.
oh
Like
yeah,
there needs to be more blood. Like it needs to spray you.
what I would do is get plastic sheeting, like from fucking like when Dexter is going to murder someone and he drapes a room and that shit. I would create like just drape plastic sheeting all around and have like a fucking super soaker sitting in front of you that just fucking gunned blood into your face. And yeah, that's how I do it. Like anytime you damage someone, it fuck you up. The other thing I was thinking is, what if you had it so that it sprayed you with blood when you got hit instead of when you like dealt damage? It would be a different, I suppose, a different statement, right? A different sort of message ultimately.
The people that got killed the most.
Yeah, it would be like that. That'd be. I reckon that'd be some visual mockery that you could use, and it's also sort of be reminiscent of Call of Duty's sort of like damage thing, how the screen gets bloodier, except it'd be your face getting bloodier. But yeah, there's I don't know. It was super interesting. I'm really glad I did it.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. What else can we talk about? What else have we got here? Damsel.
Damsel. What's Damsel?
Damsel is a game out of Brisbane, or Queensland.
Okay.
I got a code for this. I think you might have as well. Maybe not. I think it was maybe through PAX. They must have sent a bunch of codes through PAX or something like that, because that's where I'm getting sort of a vibe from this one.
Right.
It is a 2D platforming game, sort of in the same vein as maybe like a Super Meat Boy type thing, where you've got a level and you've got to try and finish it in a certain amount of time.
Sure.
But it's obviously it doesn't look like Super Meat Boy. It's definitely got more art. It's prettier.
Okay.
It's got more things going for it. You're a vampire slayer named Damsel, and you're trying to basically kill vampires throughout the level. And each level has its own little objective to do. Sometimes it'll be you need to kill a certain amount of vampires. Sometimes it'll be you've got to destroy coffins or hack security terminals. Maybe rescue. I think they're called hostages in the game, or like people that have been captured. And once you do that, then the level basically ends. And I think you've got a certain amount of time on each level. It could be 3 minutes for all of them. Not 100% sure. I only ever ran out of time once, where it came up and said, you failed basically. And so you're trying to do this as quickly as possible. And the quicker that you do each level, the more points you get. And as you progress through the game, it keeps throwing more and more sort of twists and turns in the game. So you'll start off and it's just basically like, hey, you need to make your way through and kill all these vampires. And she has like a shotgun, and it's got a certain amount of shots before it needs to sort of charge up again. Or you can go up and sort of stake them in like a melee hit. Each vampire has a certain amount of hit points. Sometimes it'll go down in one hit. Other times you've got to hit them 4 or 5 times, depending on sort of what type of enemy they are. And that's like its basic form. It'll throw vampires at you. And then it'll be like, all right, now there are hostages. You've got to try and capture or rescue. And you've got to make sure you don't hurt the hostages. And then they'll start throwing environmental sort of things at you, where maybe spikes are in the way, or there'll be security cameras that spawn extra vampires, or there could be like dynamite in the room, and if you get close to it, it'll trigger like a countdown, and you've got to try and defuse the dynamite in a certain amount of time, while also having to deal with all the other things that are around you. And sort of just starts like escalating as the missions go on, and sort of adds more and more things you've got to worry about. It's a really interesting game. I'm kind of conflicted about it because it's got some really cool ideas, but at the same time, it's trying to get you to do these things as quickly as possible. But you don't have to, because you can really take your time with this. You don't have to like speed run it through, and that's where I think it sort of stumbles. It doesn't really know whether or not it's supposed to be a game that you're supposed to finish really quickly, or you can kind of just take your time. Because the thing is, you can be on a mission that's like, hey, kill 12 vampires. But on this mission, there are like people you need to rescue, or terminals you can hack, or coffins you can destroy. And each time you do one of these things, you get points. So you could focus on doing all the vampire objectives and not worry about these extra points, and just blitz through it in a certain amount of time. And then all of a sudden you finish the map, and it gives you a score depending on like, hey, here's all the things you've done, and it sort of lists them. But then the points really don't matter. It's like a game of whose line is it anyway? Because I don't really understand what I'm doing with all these points. There's no leaderboard system as far as I can tell. It'd be cool if it came up with like, hey, here's your friends list. Here's how you've sort of compared to everybody else in your friends list or around the world. But it just sort of gives you points, and then it's like next mission. So you don't really know why you're doing these things or what's the purpose of it. Like, should I replay that mission and try and get more points, or should I replay it and do the time, like try and do it quicker? I was confused about sort of how I should be playing the game, and then it doesn't do a great job of explaining a bunch of the mechanics as well. Like, for instance, the dynamite, when you get close to it, it'll start that countdown, and then you go up and initiate it. It's like each one of these things are like little mini games, like rescuing the hostage or defusing the dynamite. And so you'll jump on the dynamite, and it's like a sideways Guitar Hero type rhythm game thing where it's got a bunch of notches, and you've got to hit it in time to the beat. But sometimes it'll be like, oh, these notches are different colors. Sometimes there'll be a green one, and sometimes there's a red one, and other times there's a yellow one. And you're only supposed to hit it on like the yellow colored ones or the orange colored ones, not the other colors. But it doesn't explain that to you. Like, it just assumes that you're supposed to know this, and it's this trial and error thing. And then so it's like this, you start going through your mind, well, does the green one mean I get more time, or does the red one mean instant fail? And it's like, no, it's just when you hit those ones that you're not supposed to, it just sort of shortens the time down. But the game doesn't explain that to you, and so it starts throwing these little like mini games into the mix, which is like the rescuing people, or there are ones where there are terminals and there's weird symbols on them, and it's in like a grid, and it'll be like each square will start to highlight, and then it'll jump to the next square, and then to the next square, and you've got to press the right combination. And each time it jumps to the next square, it's in a pattern, so you know where the next one is going to go. But if you fail it, you end up starting that pattern again, and maybe it's in now a different pattern, but you've still got to press the right combination. And so it's this weird trial and error thing of just like you've got to figure out exactly what the gimmick is behind it, and it doesn't explain any of these mechanics to you at all. So that's a bit annoying.
A little bit
so it's just a
trial and error.
Yeah, it's just a trial and error thing, and it's sort of, I just feel like the game doesn't really know what it's trying to be. Like, it's got all these really cool ideas in there, but it's sort of pulling you in two different directions of being like, hey, do you want to be a game where you're trying to get the most amount of points, or do you want to try and finish it as soon as possible without, stumbling? Because each time you you fail a level, it'll be like you respawn really quickly, and it's like 4th attempt or 5th attempt. It does that. Like the Super Meat Boy stuff, or those types of games where you got to try and finish. Is it like those running games?
Cannibal and stuff. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, where you're trying to just try and get through it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And it tells you like how many times you've done it. But in this case, it's just like you can really take your time because it feels like you have enough time to get through a bunch of these levels. And it seems like if you want to start really pushing your limit, it comes down to how many of these side sort of tasks do you want to try and do to get the most amount of points. But then at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like any of these points really matter for anything because I couldn't see any leaderboard systems where it's like matching you up against people. There is a like a challenge mode, and I think it sort of maybe refreshes every week, once a week. And there was 4 names on the list when I was looking at it.
Yeah.
And that, even at that stage, I couldn't really figure out what was going on because I clicked on challenge, I did the mission, and then it seemed to load up another mission. So I didn't really understand like how many missions are there. It didn't really give me an idea. I thought it was just gonna be one level and be like, all right, try and beat this level and get the most amount of points. But that doesn't seem to be what it was. So yeah, like it's hard to gauge sort of what they're really going for because I do think there's some interesting stuff behind it. Like there's some cool ideas there, but at the same time, it doesn't seem like they've really nailed down what type of game they want it to be, which is a bit disappointing. Because see, it's definitely got potential. There's a lot there, a lot of cool things there.
I was watching a video of it while you were talking about it.
Yeah,
I like the way the scores like sort of fall down. Does that still happen, or is that only for the Kickstarter?
Yeah. So when you get
that's cool.
When you kill things or do certain objectives, it sort of interacts with the environment a little bit.
Yeah, the points seem like they exist in the world for a few seconds or whatever.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing where you've got to be careful because, all right, this vampire's got 1 hit point and this one's got 4, and like if you kill that one vampire, the next one there's a hostage in front of him and you can't shoot because you'll end up shooting the hostage. So you got to either get close or maybe try and avoid it. And so you got to really think about what you're doing and how you're approaching each level. And it is this thing of like each time you go through it, you start to learn. All right, there's a security camera up here I've got to try and deal with, or there's certain types of vampires on this side that I've got to worry about. And then it keeps throwing like different types of vampires that have their different abilities and that sort of stuff at you. There are like 3. Well, there's 2 like missions, or two sort of campaign missions. Each one has a couple dozen different levels in there. There is a 3rd campaign, but I don't believe that's released yet. It says coming soon.
Right.
But there is like this story behind it. There's like a comic sort of panel in between each mission, and it goes through and tells you sort of what's going on and behind the scenes and playing out this sort of filling out the world of what's going on. So yeah, it's okay. I think it's got a bit more work to do.
Yeah.
And I think if they throw in some maybe leaderboard stuff to try and just give the player an idea of what they're working towards, like why are you doing all these things, and that would give you an idea of why, like what really matters in this world, like what certain things I should be going after. Because at the end of the day, I haven't replayed any missions. I just haven't felt the need to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I could have done that mission again, like so much more quicker. Or I could have maybe avoided the objective and went and did these other side things to get more points. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter.
The video I was watching looked like it had like a bit of a flow to, like, you know, like a skateboarding run sort of vibe. Like you could get like the perfect sort of loop, and like you could fucking work that out, and that would nail the mission as fast as humanly possible or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it doesn't have leaderboards, I'm not sure why you would want to do that.
Yeah, and it's incentivizing that like loop thing because there are skulls on the map, and each time you collect one, it builds up a combo meter.
Yeah.
And then you've got a countdown, like, all right, you've got a couple of seconds before that ticks down and you reset your combo. But if you go and get another objective or another one of these skulls, then it keeps ticking up and you get more points. But it doesn't really seem to matter.
Yeah.
Like, why you're doing any of this stuff. So, yeah. It looks pretty. It plays okay. Controls can be a little bit clunky. But yeah, I sat down and I would play like 20 missions at a time over a couple of days. I was having fun with it. I just didn't really know why I was doing any of this stuff. So,
Cool.
yeah. Anyway, it's called Damsel. It's out on Steam at the moment. It's an Australian game from Screen Queensland, I think, who's the ones that support it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good
Anyway.
find. Yeah. It's
else
Screw
we got?
Tape Studios, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is on our list?
Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Jackbox Party Pack 5? Jackbox Party Pack 5. We'll talk about Blops 4 in a second.
Okay.
I played this on the weekends. I told you should come over, and you decided not to because you're a hater.
When was this? On the weekend.
Last Friday. Yeah.
What was I doing?
Nothing. Not coming over and playing games with me.
I don't remember this at all.
Classic.
Oh, this is when I was sick.
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, I'm a hater.
You're a hater.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got this. We were playing it. I'm gonna have to bring it up because I can't remember all the games. There's a couple. There's some extremely memorable ones and there's some less memorable ones. So let me bring it up. But yeah, Jackbox Party Pack 5. We weren't big fans of Jackbox Party Pack 4.
No.
Yeah, it didn't really smash, I guess.
I
But
feel like it had one good game in there that I liked, and that was probably about it. Oh,
Yeah.
I had the Murder Mystery Party, right?
no, that was 3. Murder Mystery
Right.
Trivia is 3. That's definitely one of my favorites from the Jackbox series. I think it's better than You Don't Know Jack, to be honest.
Fibbage 3 was in there. That's probably
Yeah.
the only one I like.
Yeah. All right, so Jackbox Party Pack 5 has 5 games. Yeah, so there's Zeeple Dome. Zeeple Dome is an action game where you it's like multiplayer fucking Angry Birds basically, and it did not translate well into our drunken playing games on our phones while sitting in the same room as one. Like basically, you have a little thing and you fling yourself up at a monster. The monster's on the TV screen, and so yeah, it's literally a fucking Angry Birds type thing. You flick down and it'll draw back on a drawstring and throw yourself up at the monster, and you're trying to bash into the monster and kill it. And each person has a different color, and sometimes the monster will change into a different color, and only the person who's the corresponding color can kill it. So if it's a blue monster, then only the blue character can destroy it at that time, and that's about it. It is maybe fun. Like if you're after like a full-blown action game, I guess, like an action party game or something, but we weren't in the mood for it. We were in the mood for like goofy shit, and
Right.
it's not what it delivered. Then there was Patently Stupid, where it's a drawing game, and you draw things that have been like, so it'll ask you, it'll give you like a phrase like fuck, I can't even remember a good one. Like, I never realized I needed a blank, and then someone writes the blank, and then you draw what's written, and yeah, that's about all there is to that one. It's not. It's yeah. I guess they love their drawing games, and I think they are usually a hit, but it doesn't really compete with what's the auction one, the painting one where you like paint stuff. In I think it's 2. I don't know.
Biddage.
Yeah,
No.
Bidiot.
Bidiot?
Yeah, Bidiot. Bidiot.
Not Fibbage.
No. There's that, and then there's the TKO or T Fury.
I
Or...
fucking hate that game.
You hate? How could you hate it?
It's just so rare. It's like yeah.
It's amazing. I bought one of the shirts. I don't know where it is, but I should have. It's pretty bad. I drew a clown because my wife hates clowns. So I drew a clown, and then I wrote "Hi Fiona" above it to try and fuck with her. and then someone wrote as the slogan for the t-shirt, or "Pee in my mouth," and so it reads, "Hi Fiona, pee in my mouth," and there's a picture of a creepy clown, and so I bought that shirt because it's too funny, but I can literally never wear it anyway. Um, so yeah, there's that,
Except around the house.
obviously around the house. So yeah, that's patently stupid. Then there is split the room, where you create strange and divisive hypothetical situations. Oh, this is one where, again, sort of like a fill in the blanks type thing, and you're trying to get people to be divided on a certain topic. So you're trying to get them to like say, uh, "Oh fuck, I can't even like." We're pretty drunk. We're pretty drunk. Um, yeah, I can't remember. Fuck. You say something happens. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Um, it's one of those games where you're trying to like get people to split across. Like you get more points if people's answers are split, and it doesn't work that great with only four people, I think, because you wind up like sort of like three answers, three choices total. Um, oh, you're on the last train of the night, and a man sitting across from you is an adorable old man. Right after he departs, you notice he left behind his cat carrier. Do you chase after him? And so you write. So you notice he left behind his blank, and so someone
Sure.
writes in the blank his, I don't know, electrified dildo, his cat carrier, his sex robot, etc., etc. Do you chase after him? But you want people to split as to whether or not they're like going to help. So you want some people to say yes and some to say no, and that's the function of the game. It's fun. It's just devolves pretty quickly when you're drunk, and isn't great with just four people. It would be definitely one of those ones that would be better with more people. And then there is You Don't Know Jack, which is for the first time an 8-player version, so you can have 8 people playing. Uh,
Cool.
it's not as good as Murder Trivia Party. I'm going to say it. I don't think it is as entertaining as Murder Trivia Party. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry, Cookie Masterson, or whatever your name is. But I think the Murder Trivia Party is better. It's more
Yeah, right.
interesting. But it is basically just a trivia game. And then
Yeah.
there,
But is it the same? Is it one of the because the first one was like categories, like you'd pick a specific like genre,
no, it's like
wasn't it?
I don't. Well, this isn't. I don't.
The first one wasn't it where you pick like genres or
We didn't do anything
not?
like that.
I can't remember that.
I don't know. And the last game is Mad vs. City, where you are a rap battling robot, and this was a hit. It was 100% a hit. Um, you basically, it asks you to like pick a word. It'll be like, give me a noun, or give me a adjective, or something like that, and it'll sort of give you a hint as to where you should be going. So it'll be, give me a noun, fruit related or something, and so you'll be like, watermelon, and then it will write on your screen a line, um, with the word watermelon. You're the worst. I'll bust you open like a watermelon, and then you have to write the following line as a rap, and so then you have to fucking rhyme something with watermelon. Um, I don't know. I
And then
can't.
everybody votes on it.
No. Then it pits you against one of the other people who was playing, and puts a beat behind it, and then it has like Microsoft Sam read it out. Uh, but there's like 5 different Sams. There's 5 different people who all read it out,
Yeah.
and yeah, so they all read out whatever the fuck you've written. So usually it actually does a pretty good job of reading it as well, which is pretty amusing. And yeah, you're just trying to like put the smack down. So then they read out. So it reads out one, and then it reads out the other. It's a rap battle, and then yeah, you vote on who won the battle. As a result, it's pretty entertaining. My wife is a surprisingly good battle rapper. When a robot is speaking for her, I guess. I am awful at it because it'll be like, pick a noun, fruit related. I'll be like, fucking watermelon. And then I'll spend the next like 60 seconds being like, what the fuck rhymes with watermelon? What is wrong with me? I'll probably pick orange most of the time, to be honest. I'm really like,
don't do that.
Orange.
Eminem will fucking shut you down.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh god, I can't fucking rhyme anything. And then yeah, so I will like I missed, and if you fail to put something in, it's not like it suggests something for you. It goes goobity goobly goobly goo. I didn't do this correctly, or I don't know how this game works, or farbity fart. I'm bad at games, and it just shits on you. So it's that one's good when you're drunk. That one is a very good party game. And I can definitely see playing more of that in a party scenario. And it's 8 players as well, so that's good. I think the Zeeple Dome isn't 8 players; it's 6 player. It's the worst of the bunch, so it doesn't matter. We'll probably never play it again. Anyway, overall though, it's good. Like Jackbox Party Pack 5, it's a good one. I would like a Murder Trivia Party 2. So I can scream no fingers, no fingers, no fingers, no fingers every time I get something wrong. But other than that, yeah. I think they really nailed it this time. Yeah.
Yeah, they always seem to do like 1 or 2 really good ones sometimes, and then there's a couple of them that's like, average or below average.
I think you could get away with playing like 4 of these, and you wouldn't be like, if you only had You Don't Know Jack and Patently Stupid, I don't think you would be mad at it. Like it's not that they're not the preferred ones like in the mix, but they're still pretty good.
Yeah, and that's what, $20 is it? They usually go for?
No, it was fucking $30.
What? Man, they're crazy.
They are crazy. Crazy. Yep. All right, that's it. Black Ops 4.
Yeah, Black Ops 4. Yeah, so as I said, been playing a bit of that since everyone else is sort of still working their way through Red Dead. But we're still getting a good crew, like every night, about 4 people.
Yeah.
Not like 4 or 5. Sometimes we're having a 5th jump in.
I've only been jumping in the last couple of nights. I've technically finished that other game. Or have I? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. They still updating it like every day, whether or not it's like, hey, we're doing a Black Ops update today, or we're doing Zombies update, or multiplayer. Sometimes they patch all 3 modes. They've been pretty good and consistent still about what they're doing with that game, what they're updating. Yesterday they took out 9 bangs in blackout mode.
Yeah.
Which have been pretty powerful. Basically, the way 9 bangs work, they are like flash grenades, but they are like overpowered flash grenades. You cook them
9 times.
Yeah, so basically you can cook them, and there's a notch, 3 notches while you're cooking them, and each time you build up one of those notches, it makes the grenade more powerful. So if you manage to go it all the way through, it will cook 100% of the way. You throw it, it lands, that first grenade explodes, and then all these little ones sort of explode around you, and it keeps like flashing and blinding you forever and ever until you can't see anymore and you're dead.
Yeah, and that's your screen is only ever white anymore. And when you turn it off, it's white. And when you turn it back on, it's white. And then you turn it off and turn it back on again one more time, and you're back in the lobby. I did see a good.
There's some good memes.
Good meme, yeah. What was it? Could we have an update where when my opponent 9 bangs me, I'm automatically re-queued?
Yeah, yeah. So good ones like there was one where someone got nine banged and the screen like went from white to normal, but they were in an older Call of Duty map. Like you get nine bangs so hard, it sends you back to an old version of Call of Duty. So there's some good ones going around. But yeah, it does need to be addressed. Like there's something like you just can't do anything for like 4 or 5 seconds. You just can't see if they manage to get off one of those really good cooks.
Yeah.
I think the solution is to drop it to 3 seconds or maybe 1 second each cook, and then go from there. Something like that.
Just do flashbangs. Just
Get
do
rid of them completely.
single bangs. Yeah, I don't see what they add. Have a flashbang as a shorter version of concussion, but it actually like alters your vision significantly. I got concussed last night. I managed to kill a dude through it because I had the Hades.
Yeah.
And so I just held down at the fucking general direction of where the fuck he was going to be, and he ran into all of that bullet fire. Yeah, like if I was blind though, if I was proper blind, like concussion sort of fucks your vision a bit, but it doesn't ruin
It
it.
slows you down. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it does that too. If I was blind, I wouldn't even know where the fuck to look. So there would be an upside there. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some work that needs to be done on it. I think I think maybe you're right. Just make it a flashbang and go from there. They've tried doing things like the grenades. A lot of the grenades were stackable at one stage where you could pick up a certain amount of them, and it was like, all right, you only needed one slot to really put this grenade in, and then you could stack a bunch of them in there. But they've gone away from a lot of that, where one grenade per slot to sort of tone that down a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting move or a good way of addressing all that sort of stuff.
I'm not a fan.
I mean, it gets to the point where you'll end up with just teams with fucking 20 grenades because they're all stacking, and you're running up against like four dudes. Each one's got like 3 or 4 grenades, and it just becomes a grenade match. And I don't know if that's fun.
I guess, but on the other hand, like it does sort of mean that I guess the Molotov never really stacked, right? But it does sort of mean that you're never going to carry a Molotov, right? I mean,
I'll carry them.
Why?
Well,
The aerial denial they do is fucked. Like it's terrible.
I like downing someone and then throwing a Molotov at them and running away.
All right, so maybe for BM
Because then they can't get
purposes,
rest.
Like
Reset.
other than that, like yeah, just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Or I did one the other night.
Hmm.
I did it actually not on purpose. Some dude I downed, and it was at the start of the game, and all I had was barbed wire. So I put barbed wire down on top of him, and then ran away.
That's good. Did he die?
Yeah, he died. Yeah,
That's
eventually.
awesome. That is awesome. I punched a dude 5 times last night, and I did 115 damage. They must have like lowered the damage you do in a punch or something. I don't know, but if
You never did any damage.
that is pathetic. Like,
That's why Brawler's there.
if you can't pick up a fucking gun, then you're not going to pick up Brawler.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Brawler's pretty bad. I mean, they buffed it by putting like a life leech on it.
No, it's always had a life leech on it.
Really?
Yeah, I think they increased the amount that you get out of it, but it's always
did? Oh, okay.
it always had like 50 or so health regain since the get go. It's always been useless though. Yeah, it's like I was so fucking salty because I punched the fuck out of this guy. I was like literally just running because he managed to land at the tunnel at where the fuck were we? The underground section at fracking.
Yeah, right.
Fracking, and we both landed and went into the underground, but I was like a step behind him, so I'm just fucking punching him in the back while we're running down this fucking hallway, and he's like sort of juking a little, so he might have dodged like 3 of my hits, but I would have gotten 8 in if I'd gotten them all in. Instead of he dodged 3 and I only got 5, and he managed to get around the corner. There's a gun here, like there's a gun to our front, and there's another gun to our left, and so I run for the one for the front when he turns left. And I pick up one of that fucking machine pistol bullshit, and he picks up the auto shotgun. And so I died in one hit to the auto shotgun, even though I'd fucking punched him a billion times. It just felt fucking super shitty. So yeah, they need to, I reckon they need to do something about that. I mean, 5 hits, that should have been a kill. He should have been dead. He got the fucking shit punched out of him. I'd be dead in Red Dead. Fuck. I can't seem to cop 3 hits without fucking worrying very heavily about my well-being. I'm like, oh god, this is it. This is it for me. I'm dead. Anyway, yeah. So there was that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's a lot faster paced now. I feel like
Yeah, it's because of the time to kill's been shortened.
yeah,
With the armor changes.
but I'm still taking fights like it's the same. I'm still
Yeah.
like standing and delivering, and I shouldn't be, and I just haven't adjusted yet. So yeah, I feel like people are getting away with shit that they shouldn't, and like yeah, some fights that I normally win, I just haven't been, which is annoying. Yeah, yeah. So I just got to adjust to that, but it's still good fun. Gonna get back into it pretty soon. I'm nearly finished that other game, very close to
Yeah.
being fully finished it, and yeah,
They've got that thing we talked about last week. The like event they've got running. It's like a compendium reward system. So the more you play, the more you rank up, and you start getting cosmetic items out of the game.
yeah,
It's, I think we said last week, pretty similar to the Fortnite structure.
yeah,
But instead they don't have, at the moment they don't have like the extra tier where it's like if you buy the season pass then you get these extra unlocks. At the moment it's purely just you play the game, you get the unlocks. You can buy them, but there's not like an extra layer on top of it. So that's cool. I'm like the what's it called, Halloween mode that's going on at the moment. It's a couple days left. I think I've got like 2 more levels, and I've gotten all of the cosmetic stuff and the gestures and all that sort of thing out of it.
yeah.
So that's cool. It's like a little rewarding way of playing it. I still haven't done any of the skin unlocks or the extra characters, where it's like collect one of these and then go and do this certain type of mission and then finish the match. I still haven't looked at doing any of those things yet. But I think they're an interesting way of having unlocks. Like, it sort of makes you sort of try and do different things. There's one going around at the moment. It's like a pyro guy, and you have to collect something and then kill someone with a Molotov. So you'd like that one.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, but that, it's an interesting way of doing that, like unlock systems. And there is an event at the moment where they've got one of the bosses from the zombies mode. I think it's 9, and they've put him up near the asylum, and you get something for killing him.
Yeah.
What it is, I'm not sure. Have you looked into that?
I think it's the start of a character unlock.
Okay,
phase.
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you only get one per player as well, so it's not like everyone can get it in a squad.
Sure.
You'd have to do it 4 times. But yeah, I haven't looked into it too much. I've got a couple of the unlocks. Just like I did that one where you have to put a bunch of barricades down and then like finish in 7th place or something. And I did the... No, not 8. And I did the collect 3 armor plates. That one's super easy. I mean, just do it anytime. I don't understand how he's not like universally unlocked at this point, because they stack. You can stack 3 of them. It's not like they take up 3
really?
slots. Yeah, so
I just never pick them up.
just fucking pick up. Yeah, it's easy.
I'm always like, no, fuck that.
Just you'd also have to get 3 kills. So I understand why you don't want to do it. Like
I'd struggle. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. Yeah, I was getting a bit frustrated last night. Just haven't adjusted to the time to kill difference yet, but I will. I just got to get to that point, that mental point where, yeah, it's just weird. You can't take fights that you used to be able to win, guaranteed, and it's just annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, because if they've got a better gun than you, or
Yeah,
they've
exactly.
got more armor, just like,
Definitely feels like armor and gun choice. We had a game last night. Me, Kleb, and Dr. E3 Money had a game last night where we we came, I think, like fifth or something. We're in the like last dregs of this thing, and we had I had a fucking Spitfire, the 45 SMG,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and the revolver. Those were my
yeah.
guns. And Drew had I can't remember what he had, but he had garbage as well. I think he had like an auto shotty and an SMG. No, and the fucking Rampart, which he hates. And yeah, and we were just like literally just lying on the edge of this fucking circle waiting. Please don't come this way. And we like, oh, and better still, neither of us had any health. I was at like 93 or something.
Yeah.
Drew was at like 45 or something. Like neither of us had any fucking health, and he managed to like kill at least one dude after getting down to one health. Like
Wow.
literally one. Yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, so I also feel like the looting tables might have been changed a little as well. I don't know if it's being impacted by the introduction of new character like missions or what is going on there, but yeah, we were definitely grossly under geared, and
Yeah.
it felt tough.
It seems like they're playing around with SMGs as well.
Right.
The making them a bit more usable at distances as opposed to like the bullet drop. They're trying to buff that a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's still some work to go. Like there are some guns that are just useless at range.
Yeah.
You just get shredded by someone with like a KN or something like that. That's got like a high bullet velocity.
Yeah.
Or like paladins are fucking ridiculously strong.
Oh,
They're like the god tier.
Yeah. I got two sweet plinks with the paladin yesterday, and we managed to still fuck it up and lose. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I was pretty happy about that situation. And then I started another fight. What's that revolver sniper rifle? You know the one I'm talking about? It's got like the revolver bits.
The outlaw?
The outlaw, yeah. I tried to do the same thing with an outlaw, line this dude's head up and then fucking woo, no headshot. And I must have hit him in the fucking neck or something. But it was a mistake. He was not downed like I thought it was going to be. Just didn't have it was the same range as the paladin headshot though. So I figured I had it ranged in, but it's clearly slightly less.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'd like to see them do some interesting stuff with the grenades or the utility items, where maybe they're stackables of two. You'd have maybe two cluster grenades or two frag grenades, two Molotovs, smoke grenade stacks. So I think they're fine. Yeah, I don't know. Just to give you a bit more things to use, because sometimes I'm running around like, oh shit, I'd really like to take that barbed wire.
Yeah.
I can't, because like they're still alright to use to area denial, right?
Yeah.
Put them in the front door if you're holding down a house or someone's chasing you, just fucking drop it. And I'm a fan of barricades now. Barricades are a bit fucking broken in certain situations. That the distance on them and the time to kill is just so quick.
Yeah.
You can literally, I like putting them next to corners. Like you sort of just lay them on the corner of a wall, and then someone just runs around. If anyone runs in front of that thing, they're dead. It'll just fucking drop them easily if they've got full health.
Yeah.
Because a couple of ticks.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can't move while you're in front of it either, like you're just fucked. I got so angry a couple of times. I got killed by them.
Oh really?
And I was like, fuck it, I'm just using these things all the time now. They're great. I just pick up. I run around like 3 of them, and I just get in fights and just drop them. I'm like, fuck you. They're funny. So yeah, just to be able to use some more of the utility stuff that you don't really see around, like having a grappling hook on you, or the barbed wire fence, or even like drones. I don't carry drones anymore because I just don't see the point when I've got all this other stuff. But if I had a slot for it, then maybe I would.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe that's what the game's trying to do, right? Is to not have you just be this fucking walking, like, arsenal of things.
Right. I guess, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
I mean, there could be that other choice of like, all right, you've got armor, you get an extra 2 slots or something, but then they run into that problem of what happens when the armor's gone. So the PUBG thing where you can still carry stuff, but you can't pick any more up, and armor definitely goes a lot quicker in this than it does in PUBG. So, I mean, in PUBG you're usually dead if you lose all your armor, whereas in this you're still pretty good to go most of the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm digging it. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. It's really good.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if it ends up on some Game of the Year lists that are going around at the end of the year. It's still got a lot of traction.
I think it's in my top 5 for the year.
Yeah.
I can't win number 1.
Why not? What else have you been playing, Joab?
Oh, what else have I been playing? So I finished. I'm up to the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2. So yeah, you're able to continue playing after you finish the key story of Red Dead Redemption 2, and yeah, that story is something, eh? I found out that there's multiple endings.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
I did not, and yeah, there's multiple endings. Now, I won't ask you here, but I'd love to know what ending you got.
I feel like we probably chose the same.
Yeah, we probably wound up in the same place.
Yeah.
I think it's just dictated by like honor at the end of it, and I got the achievements for maximizing my honor. So maximizing my honor in one direction or the other, and I maximized it in the good direction, despite still robbing whenever the fuck I wanted. You just have to do enough like good stuff, generally good stuff, and you can get away with it. You know what really fucking hammers your honor rating? Shooting horses. Like the amount of times when I'm like bounty hunting or just generally trying to chase a dude down, and I will like he's getting away. I'm like, fuck this, dead eye, shoot the horse, and then I can just like rope him and take him wherever the fuck I want. But you cop a lot of honor for doing that. It's expensive in that sense. But yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's an amazing game. It's an amazing game, and the storyline. I said on Twitter that it makes me think of like 5 seasons of a TV show, all dropped on the same day, and 2 weeks have passed, and I want to talk about it with other people. I want to talk about it, like talk about things that happen, but it's impossible. You can't. Like nobody else has watched all 5 seasons by now, you know. And there's.
Well, you're still watching the bit afterwards. They talk about like all the shit that happens.
That's it. Yeah, I'm still watching the
spin-off,
the season 9 of Scrubs. Yeah,
where somebody else picked it up.
Yeah, I like. I'm staggered. Like the storytelling in it is fantastic. We're definitely going to have to do a spoiler cast so that we can go through all of it. I think chapter 1 is ultimately ignorable.
I think chapter 4 is as well. 4?
Chapter.
Yes, I'm not a fan of 4. I just. It's the very short, contained area.
Oh right, yep, yeah. I liked it as an idea. I didn't think the execution was particularly good. I felt like. It's tricky. We can talk about it more in our spoiler cast. But yeah, I felt like they didn't go far enough with it. And yeah, it reminded me a lot of you remember like Mexico in Red Dead 1?
Yeah.
I just sort of felt the same way where I'm like, for fuck's like just let me get back to doing what I want to do again. Mexico felt very railroaded in Red Dead 1, and that chapter 4 felt very railroaded here as well, I thought. Yeah. But yeah, there's like twists and turns, and like people die, and like they properly attach you to the characters, and like the storytelling's good enough that you're like, no, fuck, what? When like people die and you're like, fuck. You're like questioning it. It reminded me a lot of The Shield. Um,
Yeah, right.
like I don't want to say it reminded me of The Wire, or I think I'll cop some guff if I say that. But The Shield, I felt was this really good like balancing act between obvious anti-hero story and like procedural crime drama, like this clear balancing act that had good twists and interesting turns and characters you could root for, and yeah, that's so they remind them of each other. The procedural cops thing, I relate that to the general gameplay, right? Like
Hmm.
it's a game or it's a cop drama, so it has to have procedural cop shit. It's a game, so it has to have game shit. But otherwise, it like yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, and there's also like with that in mind, right? If you treat it like a TV show, then all the Stranger missions are like Monster of the Week episodes,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that's what we're doing this time. We're hunting down some crazy fucking monster. Um, and yeah, that just makes it even better to me. Some of like there are some Stranger missions that I think are some of the best missions I've ever played in a video game. Like I think overall the arc of Red Dead Redemption 2 is amazing, really well told. But yeah, the Stranger missions as like tiny chunks are spectacular. I still can't bring myself to run around through the fucking swamps. Um, Actually, that reminds me. There's a legendary crocodile, right? Or a legendary alligator, right? But it's not on the
Yeah.
legendary map, right?
I think it is. Yeah.
Is it?
I felt like it was.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's not. I could
Because there's a
find it.
mission about it.
There's a mission involving it, yeah. Um, yeah, I couldn't find it. Um, my fishing tip is genius. It works so fucking well. I have caught so many fucking legendary fish, and none of them take all that. Like they don't take long at all. It's perfect. The other thing I didn't mention, so if you've forgotten or if you didn't listen last week, the trick is it tells you to pull back on the thumbstick to reel them
Hmm.
in. What you want to do is you want to push forward and then pull back to get a maximum drag, and you'll drag them like sometimes out of the fucking water, especially the smaller legendary fish. You can actually drag them out of the water and along the top of the fucking water. The other trick that I realized on my like third fish is hold. You're not supposed to continue to reel, but don't let go of the reel.
Hmm.
Hold the fucking reel in place, and they can't just fucking swim away. Which I think I've seen like people fishing because I was trying to hunt down one of the. I couldn't work out how to catch one of these fucking fish. Like
Right.
I was certain I had the right lure. I've got all the lures. I was certain I had the right one. I was like fishing in all the right places, like on the map and stuff, but I just couldn't fucking get it to work. So I looked it up, and yeah, this person must have fought this fish for, like you were saying, like 10 minutes or some shit, and I caught it in like fucking 90 seconds, easy, and 60 seconds of it was waiting for it to bite. Um, like yeah, crazy easy. Yeah, you just have to hold it so I can't like swim away. But yeah, it's I love fishing in that game. I love hunting. Oh, I've run it like I keep running out of fucking flight feathers. There needs to be somewhere that
Yeah.
sells those. That is probably the worst thing about the game. Is either like sell me some flight feathers or sell me the shit that flight feathers are used to make, because like, yeah, I don't want to sit there fucking 40 billion hours trying to like fucking craft goddamn small game arrows. I
Yeah.
need hundreds of the cunts. I need hundreds of them. Because, like, I'd say I miss more trying to shoot fucking tiny things with the small game arrow than I do with any other fucking anything else. It is ludicrous.
Use
Uh,
Deadeye.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I have to. The only problem is when you dead eye, it loses tracking. So I exploit the fuck out of the auto aim tracking when I'm hunting shit, especially birds. But yeah, like I'm basically like bird holocausting at this point. Like just fucking wiping out birds
Yeah.
all over the fucking place. If I see a bird and I'm like, yeah, I can get that. Bang! Like I pluck it and I'll just leave it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I don't need a bunch of bird carcasses. I just need literally the flight feathers. Let's move on with our
Maybe
lives.
they need to give you more feathers.
Yeah, maybe that'd do it.
Because I think you get like 2 out of it each one, right?
From a
Something
big
like that.
bird. Most of the birds that I kill, I get one. Yeah, it's not great. I need more fucking feathers. Um, but yeah, it's that's probably my biggest complaint is that yeah, that and the fact that you then have to sit down at a campfire and press and press and press and press for each
To
fucking one you
craft.
want to make is pretty annoying. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I
otherwise,
don't.
yeah, game of the year, obvious game of the year, easy game of the year. Um,
Spoilers.
yeah, it is spectacular. Oh, there was I went to make dynamite arrows
Right, yeah.
because I was going to hunt down the legendary cougar, and J Ray was telling me he reckons the best way to kill it is with a dynamite arrow. So I went to make it. I'm like, don't have the recipe. What the fuck's going on? Turns out when you buy the recipes from the fence, because I'd got the notice that I bought all the recipes in the game.
Yeah, you got to go use them.
You gotta go fucking read them.
Yeah.
Classic. Oh man, yeah. It's I don't know. It's just amusing. There's a bunch of tiny things that I wish I'd. I reckon if I were to go back and play Red Dead 2 fresh without any knowledge of what happens in the game,
Hmm.
I'd be even better at it. But I wouldn't want to go back and start over. I do want to see what happens if you go like super evil,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I
But
wouldn't
that's another 100 hours you got to put in.
exactly.
Because I wouldn't want to mainline it again. I'd want to do the thing of like exploring, like see some of the shit that I didn't see the first time around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Because there's all kinds of stuff like masks. I still half the time forget to put a fucking mask on when I'm robbing some motherfuckers. Like so often, and if you do it, you get away with so much more shit. Like you can
Yeah,
really quickly get out of the zone where you're being caught for stuff.
yeah. And like doing simple stuff like changing your clothes or
Yeah,
changing your look apparently helps out quite a lot.
yeah, yeah. Uh, anyway, yeah, it's tough to talk about anything else without going into deep into spoiler territory. But yeah, I do generally love it. I did a bunch of like I had a feeling that I was coming up on the end, so I knocked out all the stranger missions, and some of the late game stranger missions are extremely entertaining. Did you do the one with the mad scientist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How cold is that mission? Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was fantastic all the way through.
Yeah, that's the one that starts off as like you on a like the little boat and destroying
Yeah,
like other things in the like the lake.
like a remote control boat. It was.
Yeah.
I figured it. I like my guess was that it was sort of a gag reference to remember was it San Andreas or Vice City that had like a remote control helicopter, and it was one of the fucking worst missions in the game.
Yeah.
I figured it was sort of like a sideways reference to that,
Yeah.
and I appreciated it in that sense. It was much easier to control than the fucking helicopter, which can
Yeah.
go fucking suck.
And then it leads up to like him building this death chair, and that one's pretty good.
Is that the same
With
guy?
it, isn't it the same guy? Like
No,
he
that's a
builds the
different.
electric chair.
It's a different mad scientist.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I can't remember. I thought, yeah, it's all blurred.
I got
But that
the.
one's good too.
I got the plans for the chair off him. Did you get them? Yeah, good stuff.
I don't remember.
Ah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, I've finally explored like all of the map. Actually, there's a chunk of land off the coast all the way to the east, above the prison island.
Okay.
Did you ever go over there?
No.
Yeah, neither do I. I think,
You'd have to get a boat, right?
yeah, I think you can row over there though.
Is that not the chapter 4 part?
No,
No.
no, no, because you uncover that on the map. So
Maybe you can't get there. Maybe there's just nothing there.
yeah, it might just sink your boat when you're halfway across.
Yeah.
Just don't take your horse over, so you don't lose a
No.
horse. But yeah,
No.
amazing game.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely do a spoiler thing. We're gonna reel in some people for that.
Yes.
Find out who's finished it,
Yep. Yep. Gold.
and we'll go from there. All right. Is that it? Should we do some news?
Let's do some news.
All right. Let's start off with let's do BlizzCon last.
Sure.
Let's go Red Dead. Red Dead Redemption 2. Dude's channel banned for punching feminists. I didn't put this in. I think this must have been you.
It was me. Yeah. So this came out today. There was a bit of controversy earlier this week when Waypoint, no, Motherboard Vice wrote a story about what was it? Players are excited to kill feminists in Red Dead Redemption 2 was the highly provocative title.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an opinion piece with some context thrown in. They interviewed
Some context.
They interviewed a YouTuber who had a video up where he, I think it was like the title was "I feed an annoying feminist to an alligator," and he had another one where he punched an annoying feminist, and another one where he threw an annoying feminist into the depths of hell or something like that. He had a series of videos where he was assaulting feminists, and
In a video game.
in a video game. And this article on Motherboard posited that Rockstar had made a deliberate political choice in allowing players to assault suffragettes, and that they were empowering this sort of negative behavior towards feminists. I reject this concept 1000%. I said it on Twitter already, but I still unbelievably reject this idea. The only things you can't kill in that game are
Jack.
children in general, not just Jack, but all children, and story critical NPCs.
Yeah, mission critical characters.
Yes, and so there's no fucking distinction made between killable or not killable, except for the idea that someone is story critical or a fucking child. And yeah, I think deliberately ignoring that context is exceedingly poor. Like framing your story to accuse Rockstar of politicizing their game with that in mind, while deliberately ignoring that context is, I think. Well, I said it was what do I call it? Unfair or something. But I think that is being fucking generous. I think it's more like deliberately attempting to weaponize the culture war within gamers for clicks. I think it's irresponsible and shoddy yellow journalism, if anything. Like they are specifically and deliberately attempting to stir up a group of notoriously ornery like gamers to create more opportunities for clicks. And the only people who ever get punished by that are the women who have always been targeted for abuse by Gamergate. So if yeah, it smacks of just intellectual dishonesty to accuse players, the collective players, of wanting to harm feminists, while at the same time actively wanting feminists to be persecuted so that you can continue to get clicks out of stories like these. Anyway, I said essentially as much on Twitter. I still believe that. I still think it was irresponsible writing. I still think it was intellectually dishonest to deliberately ignore context from Rockstar. Yeah, I like you can make a similar. I like players are excited to kill dogs. I searched Red Dead Redemption 2 shoot dog, and you can find people who are excited to shoot dogs. Does that mean gamers hate dogs? No. Like, you can find this shit for fucking anything. You can probably find it for cats. You can find it for fucking. You could probably find why can't I shoot children? Because I know there was a mod that made it so that you could kill children in Fallout. So there's probably a section of fucking the Realism Brigade who wish that they could kill children in Red Dead Redemption. Like, they don't represent anything except for a particular set of lunacy, and using them to represent all gamers is insanely ridiculous.
Can you hog tie Jack?
I don't think he can. I don't think you can target him for anything, hey?
Right.
Yeah. He's not the only kid like in the game, because there's those kids in Saint Denis.
Yeah.
They're
not kids, they're troublemakers. They're motherfuckers.
You can't kill them either, though, because I tried.
When they stole your money.
Yeah, pricks. Well, like, there's a chase scene, right? Like, running through the streets, this little rapscallion, and I'm like, I saw this little fuck cunt out. I pull out my gun, and I'm like, I'm just going to blow his knees out, and then I can... No, wrong. You cannot do that. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, that's some garbage. Nevertheless, so this dude, I can't remember his fucking nickname. Let me have a quick squiz. This guy, Shirako Gaming, had his YouTube taken down overnight. I don't know if it's still down, but yeah, it was taken down, and oh, it's back up. Yep. Apparently, it rallied the YouTube creators everywhere, and they all got behind him. But essentially, YouTube Gaming has since come out and said, yeah, that I think it was due to the titling of his videos. He was saying that he was assaulting feminists and committing violence towards feminists, and he got 3 strikes because of his 3 videos attacking feminists. And so that's what.
But it was in a video game.
But it was in a video game, and it wasn't actual violence. And so I think it was an automated system that made it happen.
Sure.
Anyway, I thought it was interesting because this same cunt who stole our fucking vampire work put it up without crediting anyone, and is just rolling along like, he's the fucking, oh yeah, I did all this work on Red Dead. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he independently stumbled across the vampire shit hours after you shared it on Reddit. What a fucking coincidence. What a huge coincidence. Congratulations on that. No, he totally fucking stole it. Fucking prick. Fuck that cunt.
Yeah, that was a different guy as well.
Probably heaps of them have done it by now, but he was the first one I noticed.
Oh, there was definitely another dude that I saw because I looked him up, but because I saw it on a different post.
Right.
That's something I'll mention. Like, there was that first video I put up on Red Dead. I think it's about 5,000 views or something like that at the moment.
Yep.
On my YouTube page. It's not a lot, but for somebody that fucking doesn't, like, the videos I post on YouTube are generally for, like, our group.
Yeah.
Like, our little group, and I just put them up and whatever. and then sometimes they just like the fucking Sea of Thieves one where we're ringing the bell. That's got like 1,000 views on it. And it's like just like random shit like that I'll put up.
Yeah.
That's not for anybody except for like I'm not out there trying to create fucking content for people. It's just silly shit. But no, specifically the first Red Dead one I did put up was something that I found, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And I got a decent amount of messages, maybe 24 messages within that first day.
Yeah.
Of putting that up from a lot of YouTube content creators.
Yeah.
Asking, like saying, hey, can I use this video in one of my videos, or is it okay if I, credit you in my video? And that's something that we see in like our side of in journalism or writing news or covering interviews and whatnot. It's like crediting a source, like somewhere that you've seen something similar or that you've taken this other piece of content from, and then you write about it, and then you credit the author of that original work and put them in your article, being like, hey, someone found this, or somebody spoke to this person about this, and here's our take on it, or here's something that they, whatever. You credit people for finding work. And that first video that I put up, yeah, man, I had like 24 YouTubers hit me up and be like, hey, can I use this content? Some of them had like 2.5 million subs. There was 2 guys that had like over 2 million subs who were big Rockstar / GTA or going into Red Dead YouTubers. A bunch of like 500, 600k people. Like they all hit me up and said, hey, either through like comments on the page or just direct messaging me being like, hey, is it alright if I credit you for my work that I'm doing? That's, I think, a really good way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Is that they've contacted the person that they've seen this stuff from, or gone and found an original source for where this stuff has come from and been like, can I credit you? And a bunch of them didn't even use my video footage. They went and did it themselves in the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're taking my video footage, putting it in their video, and then being like, oh, this guy found this stuff, here's his video. Some of them did, because at that stage the game had only been like just come out, like literally just come out. Some of them did grab it and be like, hey, here's top 10 things we found out from Red Dead Redemption 2, and this is a couple days after launch. Here's one of the videos with credited blah blah Luke Lawrie. And others were like, hey, here's something that Luke Lawrie found, and it's really cool, and blah blah blah. And then they've gone and done it themselves, right?
Yep.
Even though they've gone and done it themselves, they didn't have to fucking they didn't have to do like any of that sort of shit. Yeah, and then you had that video that we like posted, and within like 4 hours, like 3-4 hours of like, this is how you do it, there were people that started posting it.
Yeah.
And the one guy in particular that I saw that was covered in like another article is an Australian YouTuber who I went through all his other videos, and it was like him doing similar stuff of finding things in the world.
Right.
And like no voiceover content, just like, here's something that we found, and it's just like, didn't credit, he had maybe 24 videos up, hasn't credited anybody in his videos. He's got like stuff on there like, hey, support my work, fucking here's my PayPal, all this shit. Like, all right, maybe it was a coincidence that they happened to find the same thing we did and post the same shit 4 hours. But then they've also got 24 other videos up on there of other shit that people have obviously found, including the same fucking video that I posted on that first one.
Yeah.
And they've credited nobody in any of these. I mean, that's a bad way of doing that stuff. Even if, I can 100% guarantee you they have not found this stuff on their own. They're either using guides or other YouTubers' content or other journalist content from sites like IGN or GameSpot, or fucking Stevivor who posted one of the original ones. Like, yeah. And I think it's a bad way. You end up getting a name for yourself. That guy in particular, he's an Australian guy. I heard his name thrown about 6 or 7 years back when we were at an event. Someone saying he was a piece of shit.
Right.
And I can agree with them now, being like, yeah, all right, fair enough. Piece of shit.
It's honestly not that hard to say credit to such and such for finding this. Like, Yeah, that's turd shit. Fuck those cunts. Fuck them all. We did the fucking legwork. Fuck you, fucking pricks. Oh, that's why I tweet. The moment we found it, I tweeted out that we'd found the vampire in Red Dead because
Yeah,
I knew that at least we've got it on record on Twitter. We are the first ones to have done that.
sure.
We should have fucking spread it quicker. Damn it.
Yeah, or I don't know. Like either way,
Mm.
yeah, there's going to be people out there that are just take other people's content and try and pass it off as
Oh,
their own.
totally, absolutely. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you said
like
you know,
I had people that hit me up on Twitter being like, because I thanked like some of the big guys, like the 2.5 3 million sub guys, being like, hey, these guys actually credited me, probably, that good on them.
yeah.
And then I had people hit me up being like, oh, that person's a piece of shit. I'm like, well, okay, maybe they are a piece of shit, but at least they're fucking doing the right thing, or at least crediting other people's work where they've been inspired from or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have to do any of that shit. They could have legit just taken the shit that I did, put it up on their own thing, and pass it off as their own work, but they didn't.
Could have ripped you off, but instead of being cunts, they actually did shit correct. Anyway,
Yeah, and I don't mind if they get fucking 50, 60, 70,000 clicks
Yeah.
in that first. Like, I'm not going to get any of that shit anyway. It's just on my own, whatever. Unless I went and did the thing you said, which was post it without putting the how-to in there.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, you run that chance of possibly somebody else finding it out later on, or
If they find it out, if they do all the legwork themselves, fucking go for it, whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, if you put the vampire and get that out there, you would have gotten all the fucking clicks. 100%.
Yeah. It was also like midnight in the US as well.
Oh, totally.
So-
It wasn't perfect timing. There was a
Would've
lot
taken
of
some-
that, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, shit way of. Anyway, that was just something that.
yeah, fuck that
Thought I'd
prick.
mention.
All right, what's next? Rainbow Six
what else?
Siege controversy. So this was a bit of a weird stuff over the course of the weekend as well. It might have been a bit eclipsed by some other controversy on the weekend, but Rainbow Six Siege had a big old spat over the last week because people were upset. Let me see if I can. Basically, like the Siege team announced that they were entering the Asian market or pushing towards moving into the Asian market, and that as a result, they would be changing some iconography and making minor map changes around the place. And yeah, it's pretty weird. It's a pretty weird upset, uprising, uproar because it does like to me it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't really change anything. It's just so basically they're changing some knife icons and skull icons to slightly different things, and they're removing some pokey machines and making neon
They're putting
sign a
pachinko machines there.
little less sexy, and that's it. And yeah,
No gameplay changes, just
No.
aesthetic.
yeah, people are like, oh, it's going to change sight lines, blah 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 blah, blah. Whatever. It's like going to be such a minimal fucking change. Nobody would fucking ever notice it. Like that is the most fucking reachiest shit. Anyway, there was like a couple of decent posts, decent points made. So largely, I don't have a problem with any of this shit. I reject the outcry generally because a lot of the shit that's being changed is art related, and so art related shit. It's not like the coders responsible for the game's bugs can do anything about that, right? It's not like they can make any changes to the art. So it's not like artists being I don't know redeployed to change some knives into some fists isn't going to change the rate at which bugs are or are not fixed. So yeah, that's the like larger reason that I reject it. But like I do sort of I get where people are coming from because they feel like complaints that they've made for a long time aren't being responded to quick enough, aren't being like rectified at a rate that they're happy with, and they do feel deprioritized compared to pushing into the Asian market. So I understand why they'd be upset. It just the whole thing struck me as a weird like manufactured outcry. It was so much more overblown than it should have been. I mean, people are like, "Oh, there'll be an influx of cheaters from China. Everyone knows China cheats at everything." Horse shit. Like, there's just, yeah, right. You do see a lot of like in PUBG, you see a lot of cheaters, and they do tend to have Chinese names. There's two different clients. There's a client for the Chinese game, so they won't even be playing. It's not like they can just switch servers. They won't even be playing the same fucking game. So that's bullshit. That doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't impact anything. You're not going to see an influx of cheaters because of that. The anti-cheat's actually in a pretty good position,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Like, it's not perfect, but it's in a pretty good position. Um, yeah. So there's that, right? That's bullshit. Yeah, they can't fix bugs, um, because like with the art people who are changing the shit aren't fixing bugs anyway. What it comes down to me is a failure of communication, which actually is something that Rainbow Six is pretty bad at, in my opinion. Like, they are actually pretty bad at communicating with the community on a regular basis. I don't think, like, I think you, especially when you look at what Black Ops has been doing, it's even more stark. I mean, they're not as bad as PUBG, right? But if it's
Mm.
a spectrum, they're sort of sitting around the middle here. They're not bad, but they're not that great, and they could be a lot better. And this in particular is a massive failure of communication, and I think that's what it comes down to. But at the same time, I also feel like, fuck me, it like conspiracy Job time, but fuck, this feels like they are deliberately attempting to latch onto anything to create some sort of controversy. I don't know if they were trying to overwhelm another controversy that was happening over the weekend. There were two pretty big controversies that were also happening over the weekend. Like, I have a strong theory about a certain company weaponizing Reddit for their own purposes. I do think that, uh, yeah, I do think that Bethesda has utilized Reddit for a long time in an effort to create more hype around their games than possibly is warranted. And I see it a lot. I see evidence of it a lot, but I haven't documented any evidence. And this is me just rambling and throwing shit out there. I said it was conspiracy, Job. I didn't say this was journalist Job, so don't give me any shit.
Mm.
But I do wonder if perhaps the controversy of Fallout 76 encouraged them, Bethesda, to try to take down another game, create something that looked even worse by comparison, because it doesn't warrant the uproar that it has garnered. It's like, oh, okay, that's shit. I liked the map the way it was. I liked the icon the way it was. But people are getting fucking well out of control. The other thing is, it might not be any conspiracy, and I apologize, Bethesda, for bringing them up on that one. It might just be racists looking to latch on to this as an excuse to like weaponize gamers against, you know, or to weaponize gamers and push them further towards the right. China is a pretty common target for certain political elements, and yeah, there's a general strain of jealousy towards China that generally gets a decent amount of traction.
Mm.
So Rainbow Six catering towards the Chinese market, trying to use that to, stir up a bit of generic racism, anti-Chinese racism. Yeah, that could be just, it could be just related to that. They're like, this is the perfect opportunity to get gamers against China, or to, push them further towards, yeah, general anti-China sentiments. It could be the U.S. government because they're not
Could be.
huge on China, and they are currently ruled by a notorious fucktard racist. So yeah, it could be that. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's an odd one because I don't. Yeah, I honestly don't give a fuck. I still think Rainbow Six is one of the best games to have come out in a long time, and I do think it is generally handled quite well. There are things that they could fix. There's definitely stuff that they could fix. Things they could handle better in first place, like operator releases that are overpowered. But yeah, like I think it's in a really good place, and I just yeah, this whole uproar has felt off.
Mm.
Especially, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when Dota 2 went through this thing of like,
Right.
hey, we're entering the Chinese market. We've got to change a bunch of the symbolism in the game now.
Yeah. Did people
Yeah.
lose their shit?
I think a couple of people were upset, but at the end of the day, like, nobody gives a fuck about that anymore. Like,
Right?
nobody cares. It's just like a couple of fucking art changes.
This is one. That's exactly it, right? This feels like something that nobody's going to give a fuck about today already. Like 3 days later, nobody will fucking care anymore because it is so inconsequential. It means nothing, but it was blown up. It was so fucking big. It felt like it was competing for a single other massive announcement that happened over the weekend that was getting a lot of outrage. It felt like it was desperately trying to compete for reasons I couldn't understand.
Do you remember when Diablo 3 was first announced and there was that fucking image that, well, they released some screenshots and people fucking lost their minds because they were like, what's all this fucking color? Why is there colors in there? And like,
Yeah,
Blizzard ended up making a joke about it by putting a
the rainbow level. Yeah,
in the game. And it's just like, settle the fuck down, man.
yeah,
It's like not a huge deal.
yeah.
Yeah. There was, I mean, they're changing a handful, like 6 things in the game, a couple of icons. They're changing a knife icon to a fist, and
Yeah.
like it's not a huge deal.
Sorry.
I think the thing that I saw people were getting upset about was that they're like pandering to a government who is trying to regulate all these things in their country, and like, why should we have to deal with all that sort of stuff? Because Ubisoft just wanted to do the one client. It meant that they could push out versions quicker. They didn't have to manage 2 different clients, and that's just sort of, that's the same thing that like PUBG does or fucking Dota 2 does. Like, it's all the same client. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I think yeah, people will get over it.
They'll get over it quick. Yeah. Actually, speaking of Fallout 76, just before we went live, well, not just before, but Bethesda has put out a thank you and addressing your feedback message
Right.
from the 76 beta. It did not go well. Obviously I wasn't a fan. I spoke about it last week. I was very much not a fan, but
I only played that one day that we played because all of the betas were on at like 5 o'clock in the morning or something for us. I think the one that we played was like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Sorry, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't go well. People are fucking not happy about it. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. So they didn't go through all the stuff. But yeah, they're supporting 21:9 post-launch ultra-wide support. They're going to increase the stash size. People were upset with the 400 weight limits, and while it does get easier to deal with over time, they'll fix it. Push to talk. It didn't have push to talk. Anytime anyone spoke, it was just always on voice, which is
that's
fucking
nuts.
dumb as shit. While we aim to create a consistent experience no matter what platform we're on, we understand that some of you on PC would like the option for push to talk. Literally, it should be default push to talk. Always default push to talk. Who the fuck wants to hear anyone fucking...
Did you read their explanation as to why it's not there?
What? Our goal with voice chat being on by default is to highlight that the world is alive with real people, other players like you. Other players like me who are yelling at their mums, because that's what I heard a lot of. Yelling at other random people in the house, in the room. Or the good one was, oh yeah, this guy. Oh yeah, I could hear this guy talking all the time. Oh yeah, no, he never shuts up. Yeah, I can't believe he's never shutting the fuck up. I just wish he would shut up, man. I don't understand. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I should tell him, hey. And you're like, he's definitely talking. He's definitely talking to me. He's definitely talking to me. Every time I talk to someone else on Discord, we can all hear each other. It's fucking now every Discord in the world is one-way fucking linked, so that you can only hear one side of any fucking conversation. Really good fucking player, dickheads. Ah, yes. Gotta be nice to them. It's the first time they made a multiplayer game. So yeah. Of FOV slider. We haven't supported FOV sliders in our previous games, as it's known to break a lot of animations and causes a lot of clipping to occur on screen. Amazing.
This is the problem with all the Bethesda games, is every time they put an FOV slider in, it just breaks shit. That's what the problem is.
Yeah. Exploits of various types. Many exploits we've seen reported have been known and will be addressed in a future update. Cool. Yep. Okay. Issues with the social menu, inviting friends and making teams. Those who are experiencing issues with the social components will find that many of these issues have been fixed. Will I find that? Because what reason would I have to know that that's going to actually be fixed? This was your beta, and you didn't fix it by the end of your beta, so I don't see why it's going to be fixed for fucking launch a week after the beta. Yeah, lunacy. Hunger not being sated. Some were saying their hunger bar wouldn't replenish no matter how much they ate or how cleared of diseases they were. This issue has been addressed. And loud gunshot noises. The issue of players hearing sudden random gunshot loud noises around Appalachia will be addressed in a future update near launch. We're pretty fucking near launch already, motherfuckers. You should choppity chop on that shit.
Those shots are Joab shooting dogs.
I just gotta, they gotta die. Yeah. Anyway, those classic. Classic. What's the next piece of news? The AGAs, the AGAs.
The AGAs. It's pretty Australian, right?
It is. It is.
It is Australian, actually.
It is. Yeah, the A stands for Australian. Yeah. So these are the Australian Game Awards. Is that right?
Yep, that's it. That's what it stands for.
Nailed it. Yeah, it's an award ceremony, I guess. I guess it's the Australian version of the game show, right? Or the Game Awards, rather.
Yeah. So it's being run by Trade Media, who host and also do a lot of local coverage in video games,
like
specifically
business stuff and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They've done like local business awards. They've done like Women in Games awards, esports awards, which you won, right?
I did win. Yes. I am the esports journalist of the year, so of course I won. But yeah.
And this is their latest one, the Australian Game Awards, which will be, I guess, it's a community voted event, which I guess we'll get back to in a little bit. But it's 30 awards presented, and there are a lot of them.
there are a fucking heap.
Yeah. So it's split up into certain categories. There is digital games, which covers things like independent game of the year, handheld game of the year, multiplayer, and then they go through like a bunch of the genres like esports, action adventure, RPG, shooters, strategy games, sports, that sort of thing. And then obviously like a game of the year award. There is an accessories category, audio brand of the year award, and controller brand. There is a tabletop category that got added in, tabletop of the year, which I will get back to in a moment.
Okay.
There is a media category, journalist of the year, the Game Changer award, and gaming publication of the year. And then there is a content creator of the year award, and this is quite extensive. There is breakout creator, social media god, Twitch creator, mixer creator, YouTube creator, cosplayer of the year, and creator of the year. And then there's an esports category, which is player, team, organization, and player of the year, as well as esports personality of the year. And that makes up your 30 categories, or your 30 nominations, and split up into different sort of groups.
Sure.
A lot of people getting chatty about this one.
Yeah.
A lot of mixed opinions.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the title, Australian Game Awards. People were not happy with that one. In particular, the board game community.
Right.
Tabletop community.
Okay. Is this because...
Fucking ridiculous. I mean, this is a video game trade media like website, and for them to get antsy about fucking specifics about calling it games is nuts. I saw a lot of people getting upset with Joel about this.
Did you?
To the point where he's now, he folded and put in the fucking tabletop category.
Oh,
That's
he
insane.
added that, right?
Yeah, that was something that's added later on.
Right.
Because the board game community was getting up in him about, like, no, you can't put this in there. Like, you're not covering all games. You're covering digital games. And they were firing up and being like, you can't have an RPG category for best games because all the best RPGs are tabletop games. Like, these are the fucking comments he was getting about this. It was insane.
Pretty good. So, yeah, okay.
I don't agree that he should have put the tabletop category in. I think it should have been specifically video games. Leave it as it's at.
Yep.
And then, because then you start having to add an extra fucking categories in there about, like, people getting upset about other things.
Oh, yeah. I'm upset about
fucking
things.
Card games. What about best card game? Why not?
I'm upset about things.
Best Magic update.
Best, well, why not? Yeah.
CC collectible card game. It's dumb. This is clearly a video game industry related event, and for them to get upset about it is another thing that fucking people just want to be upset about.
What I don't understand, right, is there's 3 media awards, and
sure.
And I'll just put this as my new lens. Is this the only, like, is there only ever going to be one of these? Am I the only ever winner of the Australian
100% win rate.
Esports Journalist of the Year award? Right, because I don't see it in there. I don't see esports journalist. I just see journalist. There's one journalist of the year. There's no reviewer of the year.
There's no critic. There's nothing like that. I mean, journalism can be taken many different ways.
Can be across multiple media platforms. It says, and there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 content creator awards. There's Breakout Creator of the Year, Twitch Creator of the Year, Mixer Creator of the Year, YouTube Creator of the Year, Creator of the Year. But yeah, there's only one journalist. So yeah, is there going to be another esports award? Because Esports Pro Oceania is the esports arm of trade media. It seems like they didn't get a very big, I guess they didn't have a huge say in the Australian Games Awards. I mean, I'm happy to be the reigning, defending, undefeated, undisputed Australian Games Journalist of the Year every fucking year and in perpetuity, but I wanted to compete. I wanted to see. I love to compete. I love to win, and I don't want to win by default just because nobody else was able to enter. There's no way that an esports journalist is going to win Journalist of the Year. That's never going to fucking happen. I don't know. Seems a bit rough. There's no way a person who only writes reviews is going to win Journalist of the Year. It's always been a bit rough. Yeah. I don't know. Seems like it might have been a little bit hastily launched.
Yeah. And this other one here, like the Game Changer, what is that supposed to entail?
I have no idea.
Who is that catering to? What journalist has fucking influenced
Positive
changes.
Yeah, right. Like, no idea. Game publication of the year. I don't know what that will entail either. Like, it's because it's across so many different fucking media.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, do you start including outlets like IGN in here and their
right?
contingent, or is it purely just Australian outlets, or is this covering YouTube stuff as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's because it says here across print, online, video, but
Yeah,
then there's so many different ways this can be.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's there's not a lot of, it's not very clear. The other thing is that this is all purely community voted. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether or not you're any good. It's just a popularity contest.
yeah. Which
Um,
is a bit rough.
yeah,
Also,
yeah. I mean, that's not
tickets
you've
for the
got
industry cost $360 plus GST.
people. That is nuts because that's like, I mean, people writing about Red Dead don't get paid that much for their Red Dead review.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. I just like I appreciate the effort put in here, but at the end of the day, I don't think people should be too upset when they don't win something because it is purely. I feel like this is purely just a way to get eyeballs onto it because it is a community voted thing. At the end of the day, the person with the most fucking followers on a specific medium is going to end up winning this stuff. Like, you're never going to see a fucking Nathan Lawrence in one of these journalist of the year things, even though it's like his fucking job or like your job
Yeah.
to do this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the people that write for huge, enormous websites that don't freelance, that have like their name attached to something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'll, even if they do make it past the first, like, oh, congratulations, you've been nominated. Now you're up against Kotaku or something like that, or someone from IGN. It's like, good luck. That's never going to happen. So yeah, it's a bit strange.
Yeah. Anyway.
Which is like the thing that you end up seeing with stuff like the Lizzies as well, where you end up with people, like, it ends up with a board voting on, like, there's like usually 3 people, and it's sometimes like one ex-gaming person and like 2 other people. It's like people that don't know each other in the industry, and it again becomes this weird thing of like knowing the right people. Yeah, I don't know, it's strange, but I guess we'll see how it goes, right? What happens. Like, it'd be cool if we could nominate ourselves in one of these, but
There's no podcast.
there's no podcast stuff, or there's no, like, where would we put ourselves in terms of, I mean, we could enter YouTube Creator of the Year, I guess, technically.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah,
But yeah,
weird.
it's strange. I don't know. Anyway, should we move on? What else is there?
One more thing.
Oh, BlizzCon was on over the weekend.
Yeah.
They had some announcements. Let's go through them. World of Warcraft Classic is coming out. This is their vanilla Warcraft will be live again. So there's a lot of like bootleg servers going up at one stage, and they were not happy about that. So this is their way of controlling it a bit more. Blizzard's way of controlling it a bit more.
Yeah.
And it'll basically be launching on patch 1.12, which is the first patch before Burning Crusade came out, and people will be able to jump in and play the game that way. From what I understand, it's not like a separate thing you need to buy. It's just part of your subscription package.
Yeah.
For WoW, and you'll be able to play it. Why people want this, I don't know. I don't get it. It's, for me, weird.
It's pretty weird. Yeah, it smacks us to me of one of those things that people think they want, and then they'll get there, and they're like,
no. Maybe they'll play it for a week.
Yeah.
While they grind like a lot, and they'll be like, no, this is definitely not what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool thing to have for
Nostalgia.
not nostalgia, but like oh man, what do you call it? Like looking back on history or having like a weird museum type thing. Um, like being able to jump in and look at this sort of stuff. It's like
Sure.
when you talk about old games and having to run emulators and whatnot.
Yeah.
Being able to sort of preserve those classic games. I mean, it's a cool way of doing that sort of thing. But otherwise, I don't see the need for this at all. Other than, yeah, just like ducking out and checking out and being like, yeah, okay, that was cool, and I'm going back to the new one. That's probably a bit better. So yeah, that was announced. And what else we got here? Hearthstone expansion. It's called what's it called? Do you know what it's called?
Trolls something or other.
It's called Trolls.
Trolls.
Rustican's Rumble.
Yeah. I was going
That
for.
sounds
I was
about
trying to work out what the T word for rumble would be. Some sort of alliteration. I knew there was alliteration. Yeah. Rustican's
This
Rumble.
is. Are you getting back into it? You usually jump in every once in a while and check out their latest expansions.
The single player stuff won't be out until the week after the other stuff launches, so I'll probably jump in then. But I'll have a squeeze. I like the idea of the troll stuff going in, like this. You've got like this spirit that you can play, and it sort of augments your abilities, and you've got this champion that you can play, and the champion really ramps up the way you're like you generally play. So it's all sort of they design it all around a few specific things, but there are multiple like paths to take with each class this time around. So I think it's a cool idea. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it interacts with one another, like with all the different stuff in it. But yeah, I probably won't play too much PvP because I generally burn out on that pretty quick. I'll find the memeiest deck, and then I'll make that. I'll just burn all my fucking dust trying to make the memeiest possible deck, and that's probably as far as
Sure.
I'll go. Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Overwatch is also getting a new character, Ash. Seems like she's in sort of the same vein as McCree.
Right.
She has a like a rifle, a shotgun which she can use to shotgun jump. I don't know if you saw the videos of this, but it's like rocket jumping but with a shotgun.
Right.
It's weird.
Okay.
She's got some dynamite that she can use to do AoE damage, and she can shoot it.
Sure.
And then I think her ult is robot.
Yeah. Bob.
Yeah. So
I don't know what he
there's
does.
that.
Sure.
Also watched some Overwatch while
World
this
Cup.
is going on.
Watch the World Cup.
The World Cup. So obviously one of the first games off of the bat was Australia versus South Korea.
Yep.
And this is a perfect example of why I do not like best of ones in esports tournaments. Well, specifically like championships.
You mean?
I think they're fine in.
Not best of ones. This wasn't a best of one.
Sorry, not best of ones, but like not having double elimination.
Single elimination. Yeah.
Yeah, like in championship series or stuff like that, I don't think it's a good way of doing it. I think it's fine in like bracket rounds, like a best of one type style thing. But yeah, in proper tournaments, it's fucking dumb. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, great example here of why it was not done well. You had Australia versus South Korea, and it was a really good matchup. I felt that Australia did pretty well. They went into the.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah. Oh no, they went into this like being second place in our regional group.
Yep.
Which meant they went first place up against another region.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know, man. Like it seemed like a pretty close game.
They did really fucking well. Like really well, and this is considering the fact that they are playing the best team in the world by a long fucking way. South Korea wound up winning. It's the third time they won the World Cup in a row. They beat
Without
China.
dropping a match.
Yeah, They beat China without dropping in the grand finals. Australia nearly beat China in Bangkok. Like, Australia had the toughest fucking run through to the fucking, like, the World Cup finals. They faced off against the best team in the world, the eventual world champions, and they managed to, like, finish equal to Team USA. Yet inexplicably, we have just a single player in the Overwatch League. It really makes me wonder how the fuck the Overwatch League continues to go when they're not willing to look outside of their own region. Clearly, we've got some interviews up. We got an interview with Trill, who was clearly Australia's MVP, and we got RQT, who was the team manager and the captain last year. He wrote his, like, behind the scenes stuff, and Trill was saying that he actually got to do some tryouts for teams, for OWL teams, but he had to play on East Coast America servers. So he was trying out with 330 ping. That's horseshit. That's fucked. What the fuck? And he was still apparently doing well. He was doing well. It's just he also had a third of a second fucking delay on everything he fucking did. That's cooked. That's fucked. RQT was saying in his article, he wrote that basically they planned to lose. Not like they were planning on losing, but they planned around the idea that they would lose.
Yeah, sure.
So the losing team gets to choose the map. So they only practiced 4 maps because they're like, well, we will play these maps probably, and if we don't get to play these maps, that means we've won something. So fuck it. We'll go with these maps and see what happens.
Sure.
So yeah, they practiced with that in mind, and yeah, it was pretty clear that, like, mechanically that they were doing pretty well, and they pulled out a bit of cheese shit. They threw out a Torbjorn that nobody expected.
Yeah, and like the thing about that is that the commentators, and this is another point I don't like about Overwatch, is the commentators like, oh, what's the Australian team doing? They pulled out a Torbjorn. This is going like off what everybody else does, and that's like another aspect of these these single elimination rounds. Nobody can take chances on weird strats or trying anything different, because if you lose, you're out.
Yeah.
And I didn't put this down here, but we saw the same thing with the fucking the Worlds for League of Legends. Like, another game that I just do not like watching, because it's the same shit over and over again. And in particular, that game, it's like nobody wants to fight each other. Yeah. And everybody's got the flash ability, and it's the moment like a fight starts being lost, everybody just runs away. And then you start diving into like hero pools, and like 60% of the heroes in that game just don't even see a pick or ban.
Yeah.
It's just, and like, because that's the way you play the game. It's just so poorly balanced that here's the top 20 people you use, and they're picked all the time. Yeah. And so you have no like these teams, these weird compositions coming out, and people being blown away by like, why the fuck is this person being picked?
Yeah.
You just don't see any of that. And so you go back to Overwatch, where Australia brings out Torbjorn, and they start winning that fight early game because like nobody knew what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Eventually, China figured it out. South Korea figured it out, but it took them like most that round to try and get to that position. So yeah, you don't see any of that cool stuff come out. It's just, oh, okay, we're going back to the same 5 or 6 characters over and over again. And it's just boring to watch.
Well, yeah, like, I think Overwatch in particular has a big problem with that. People aren't willing to take a risk on something new. But also, Overwatch in particular bans people for playing off meta heroes. You can get reported as trolling if you play an off meta hero, regardless of whether or not you win. It has been reported, like, it has been like seen multiple times that players like pro players have been banned from competitive for playing an off-meta hero because they're trying out something. That's ridiculous. Sure. That is ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. So yeah, what? So there's heroes that you're just not allowed to play then. Cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's nuts. Anyway, I thought, Team Australia did really well, and it's ridiculous to me. It's crazy that Trill isn't in the Overwatch League because he's fucking amazing. And he played really well.
Yeah, and for all we know, that the Australian team might have been the second best team out there, but because they were knocked out the first round, you end up with maybe a mediocre grand final. Like, you end up in a grand final where possibly the two best teams aren't playing each other. That's my biggest issue with some of this stuff.
Yep.
Because I saw a lot of people saying that grand final was nowhere near as exciting as some of the past games that Korea was playing in.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, next.
And then new Diablo games coming out. So Blizzard had their opening ceremony. And a couple weeks back, something we talked about on here is Blizzard put out an announcement or a statement saying that cool you horses, there is not going to be a Diablo 4 announcement at this thing.
Yeah.
So while they're doing all these announcements about like new Overwatch heroes and a new Hearthstone expansion and then a new, Warcraft 3 Reforged, which we didn't talk about, but that's another thing I don't get while it's coming out. But yeah, so they end up finally finishing up this conference with a new Diablo game, and it's called Diablo Immortal, and it's for the mobile platform. And people fucking flip out and not in a good way.
No.
Because they've been thrown through a loop. They feel like that this isn't the game they deserve, and people got extremely upset. And then following that, there was a Q&A, like a what we're doing with Diablo panel straight after that. And they held a Q&A session along with like here's the mobile game we're doing, here's the things we're thinking about. And then the Q&A followed, and people were asking some questions about it and getting a lot of traction on the internet, like Twitter and whatnot. We've talked about this sort of in like private, just in like Discord channels where we're playing games.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of ways to approach this. Like, obviously, I think the big one is that Blizzard fucked up pretty hard with this. It's definitely the wrong time to announce this game.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been their tentpole. Like, oh, by the way, here's the last game we're gonna announce.
Yeah.
And it's the one that you don't want. But
so
also, like,
you like Diablo? Well, what about on mobile?
The watch, the iWatch. Yeah, like, it's just a bad way of announcing it. Like, full stop. They fucked up. There's no like easy way to put it. They did not read their audience. That's a pretty easy way to put it. Like, the people that are going to these events are they're the hardest of the hardcore.
They're the people who paid hundreds of dollars to attend. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the people who paid hundreds of dollars to attend, to go to these communities, find out the latest announcement of the game, and they don't want to be like, by the way, it's a mobile game. Like,
it's not like they don't have fucking evidence of this either. Remember when like Valve announced Artifact? Remember the fucking reaction to that?
Yeah.
It wasn't positive. There were groans. There was like, people were expecting something different. Like,
yeah. And that's a PC game.
That's a PC game. And people had no reason to expect an announcement. Like, it wasn't like they were like flashing up a fucking Half-Life 3 fucking logo or like constantly and hinting at Half-Life 3 announcement. And they're like, and now here's the Total Guard game, motherfuckers.
Half-Life 3G. It's a new mobile network.
Like that, the Diablo hype was fucking huge heading into BlizzCon, and yeah, they definitely fucked up the way they announced it. Like, people were champing at the bit for Diablo 4. Switching it out for Diablo Mobile. Insane. Utterly insane. What else you got?
What else have I got? That was where we were going.
Yeah, you were saying other things. That wasn't the end of...
No, I don't know where else to go with it. Like, yeah, it's just it was a bad move by them. They
What did you think of people asking those questions of the developers?
I think it was fair enough. Like as we said, these people have paid a lot of money to go here, and we're expecting something, and to be, I mean, basically being like, hey, it's a mobile game. It's just it wasn't the right place to announce this. There's perfect other places you can look at this sort of stuff. You look at what happened at E3, or even going further than that. But you look at the way that Microsoft handled their Gears of War announcements, right? They announced that Gears of War, like, Pop Funko fucking head game, whatever it is. They announced that and people were like, oh, whatever. And then they announced a fucking full-on, like, new Gears of War game. Or you look at just other ways that people have done that. You go back to Fallout, Fallout 4, and when they announced Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Bethesda came out with Fallout Shelter and we're like, hey, by the way, this is available now, but we've also got Fallout 4 coming out in 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, that's the right way you do these things.
It should have just been like the fucking logo.
Just something, anything.
And now to close out, we have Q Diablo music. Deco Kane comes in. Stay a while and listen. And then fucking Diablo 4. And everyone loses their fucking minds. They lose their fucking tits. Right? And there's just buckets of cum all over the fucking thing. All over the auditorium. Everyone's losing their shit. And then they're like, logo. Q4 2020. Right? 2 years away. Heaps of time. Plenty of time. They can bump it forward if it's looking good. Leave it where it is if they need the time. And then that's a long time away. Until we get there, here's Diablo Immortal. And then fucking close. Like, finish. Dunzo. Or I guess they could have done the reverse. Before we go, we couldn't let this BlizzCon finish without talking about Diablo. We've got Diablo Immortal. We're very excited about it. We're sure you will be too. It bridges the gap between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. There's a story that needs to be told, and we really want to tell it. Oh, and by the way, cue Diablo music. Deckard Cain. Q4 2020, Diablo 4. Just like finish on that fucking screen or something. They had a fucking real opportunity, and I cannot understand how they fucked it up. They didn't need a fucking anything. They just needed a logo. Could they not fucking agree on a logo?
Yeah, just paint. Someone in paint.
Yeah, just fucking
off you go.
Screw it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bad announcement. Like,
yeah.
There's no other way to put it. It doesn't. Doesn't feel like a BlizzCon announcement. It's not for I saw a lot of people being like, yeah, but this isn't for you. It's like, but at the same time, this isn't for the people that came here to see all the Blizzard games that they paid a fuckload of money that like to go see this sort of stuff.
Yeah, who is this for then? Like BlizzCon, like it's BlizzCon. Who's BlizzCon for? Overwatch. World of Warcraft, the longest running MMO and most successful of all time. Massive PC game. StarCraft, PC only game. Diablo, yeah. Generally, the memes about Diablo are what? Mouse is being broken. Right, mice being broken. Yeah, okay, so I can see how that might be a fucking PC game. Yeah, right, yeah, PC. Oh, yeah. How the fuck is it not for the people who attended essentially the PC convention? Ridiculous. Yeah. That said, I disagree. I do not think they should have been shitting on the devs while they're up on stage. I thought it was disrespectful. Ultimately, I think there would have been better ways to get to that than to. I mean, BlizzCon is for the devs as much as it is for the players. They like bust their fucking balls off all year round to make games for people. And
Sure.
I think, yeah, it was a bit of a shitty way to skewer someone's weekend.
But I think the way they again presented it was not the right way. It was like here's this mobile game we're working on, and also it's being made by it's being outsourced to a Chinese company,
Yeah, no,
and we've got
absolutely.
some staff working on it. It's like, and that starts to obviously, all right, well, what's the thinking behind that? And then you start seeing videos about videos that this other company has made, and people are piecing together, well, it looks just like a reskinned version of this other game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just obviously people's just minds start to
In our
wander a
Discord,
little bit.
Baz, I think, is taking it the hardest out of anyone. And he posted a link to a video today where the fuck they what do they say? We'll just bring it up real quick. What is going on? What the fuck? Here we go. In terms of Blizzard's approach to mobile gaming, many of us over the last few years have shifted from playing primarily on desktop to playing many hours on mobile. And that, I think, is a pretty heavy duty response, like a pretty heavy duty idea of the philosophical shift at Blizzard that I think I understand people being concerned about. This idea that Blizzard, people at Blizzard aren't playing on PC anymore, and that's why they don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is pretty monumental for a lot of people. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't think they should have been railing against the devs. How many BlizzCons I've been to? Like two, I think, or three, two or three. And
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken to devs at all of them, and they are always so stoked about the weekend. And there's this general feeling that everyone who works at BlizzCon is one of the reasons why you do it. And I don't know, those questions, they just felt really off to me. That said, yeah, this idea that of course Blizzard's going to do it. They're a company and it's their job to make money. So they're going to make a fuck ton of money by doing this. Like, are we on the side of Rockstar for pushing people to do 100-hour? Because that's why they did it, so they can make a fuck ton of money. That's why they're doing 100-hour weeks. Or, like, I'm confused here. Is making fuck tons of money rad now? Well, big business, yeah. Yeah, it's been a weird response. There's it seems like there was just no middle area for anyone. They were just like, yeah, fuck yeah, big business, baby, get it, Blizzard, get that cash, baby. Or alternatively, fuck you, Blizzard, you've betrayed everything I believe in. And I think the truth lies somewhere very close to the middle of those two. Yeah. Generally, the truth is, you fucked up announcing it at BlizzCon. And you could have done a lot better really easily. And that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll reserve judgment until I play the game, where I'm like, fuck that game.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, it pretty mixed so far.
Right.
In terms of the way it plays.
Right.
But yeah, and then you've also got to see like how they're going to be handling the monetization of it, because from what I saw in the interviews, they don't know yet. Right. That's generally not a good sign. Like, you want to, you don't want to build this thing and then be like, all right, well, how do we make money now?
Yeah.
you usually want to have that at the start. That way, it's all built into it. Because then you end up with issues with grinding and just fucking weird ways of fucking energy systems, and yeah, that's not cool. But I guess we'll wait and see, right? How they go about it.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, yeah, they fucked up that announcement. Could have been done a lot better, but
It definitely could
it's
have.
too late. All right, what else we got here? Is that it?
That's it. Questions?
That's it. Questions.
Questions.
Sure.
Do we have any emails?
I can check emails if you want to check
Uh,
Discords.
all right, we can definitely got Discord. All right, let's go. Starting off with Racy. Racy writes, obviously, the Diablo Immortal announcement during the BlizzCon opening ceremony didn't go down very well. Even with no expectations of Diablo 4, I was still a bit let down that this was the only thing they had to say about the franchise. There were no comments, mentions of D3, future plans for the D3, any more D3 class DLC, or D1 or D2 remasters. I'm assuming someone's job when planning these opening ceremony keynotes is to make sure the announcements will be taken well, or at least not taken poorly. E.g., Microsoft announced Gears of War mobile game alongside the new Gears of War game, and Bethesda did the same with their mobile Elder Scrolls and TES 6. This ensured the narrative wasn't solely focused on a mobile game for those not interested in it. What do you think they could have done to have had this announcement go over better with the attendees, or was it just the wrong time, place to make this announcement? All right, I swear to God, we don't read these questions before we talk about stuff. Maybe we should, but I like our system of
Maybe we should.
of never
being surprised. Vetting the questions.
Well, like just generally not answering questions in our news rants, and then like being all like, well, Racy, if you'd been listening when I was talking 4 minutes ago, you fuckhead, then you would have heard that I explained exactly how they could have done it. But apparently, as always, you refuse to listen when you write these questions 5 days in advance. Yeah, we could probably do it that way, but we never will. Racy, if you had been listening 4 minutes ago when I answered exactly this question, you wouldn't have written this question. Of course, you wrote the question 5 days in advance, so perhaps you couldn't have. However, time is cyclical, and if you wait until the next time we come around, you'll have the chance to try this again. I definitely think like it was the wrong time and place, but like you said, there are better ways to do it. There are definitely better ways to do it, and yeah, I think they had the opportunity to strike upon one of those better ways, and I just don't understand how they fucked it up. You know, I think we will. I will love to read. I will definitely read the article 5 years from now on how they fucked that up. Or I'd watch the Danny O'Dwyer episode on how they fucked up that.
Wasn't there a Kotaku article going around how they did have a Diablo announcement that they pulled it at the last minute?
Yeah. And it wasn't designed for BlizzCon. I think that it was their update.
Sure.
But yeah. That was in our Discord as well.
Yeah, the title of this video is Blizzard scrapped plans for Diablo 4 video.
Right.
There was a update here. Okay. Apparently there was a video made for Diablo 4, but Blizzard has said that it was not for BlizzCon.
Right.
So maybe it's for the Video Game Awards.
You would hope not. Holy shit.
That is the only thing I can think of.
That would be, holy fuck. That'd be insane.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts because, yeah, again, we go back to the thing of this is a convention for the people that love Blizzard games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be high.
The VGAs,
that'd be bananas. That's when you do Diablo Immortal.
Oh, yeah. That's where you announce Diablo.
Switch those two around. Easy.
Diablo Immortal is like a TGS event or a Gamescom announcement or the Game Awards announcement. That's the type of thing. You don't do it as your tentpole end of the conference thing and be like, by the way, yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yes, it is. All right. Baz writes, I think most arguments need a middle ground to come up with constructive ideas, but in today's society, it is either one extreme or the other. That's the only way people try to gain attention to further their views. For the most part, the people that take a neutral stance on a topic unfortunately ignore the view from the two extremes, resulting in lack of communication and even further polarizing the two different views. Unfortunately, unless people take one extreme or the other, they feel they will not be heard. Diablo fans have been middle grounding for some time, making suggestions, etc. They're told that they have some news from at BlizzCon, and when they announce the mobile game, and then they announce the mobile game. The fans think clearly they have not been listening to us over these last few years. I guess we have to go to the extremes to have our voices heard. To make matters worse, Blizzard has since been silencing people by removing comments and post topics on their social media platforms. Now they are in the current situation. How do you think the Diablo team can fix this? This is a pretty deep hole that they've dug, hey? Like, they are in a massive hole, but it's not like they haven't dug themselves a giant fucking hole before and had to find their way out. I don't know how they fix it. It's not as easy as get rid of the real money auction house and fix the loot balancing in your fucking game, Blizzard. It's pretty fucking easy. You've ruined Diablo. Like it was at the launch of Diablo 3. I don't think that one's easy because that was a gameplay related thing. That was a gameplay related fuck up. This is a public relations nightmare. This is a messaging fuck up, and I have no idea how the fuck they back their way out of it without they just have to remind people why they love Blizzard by doing something. But I got no idea what.
Yeah. And that other thing is, if we go back to the Kotaku article, if it does turn out that this video or whatever the fuck it is for the VJs, then that's not doing good either. It's then digging that hole even fucking further because they'll be like, why didn't you show this at BlizzCon?
Like, it would require, right, they would need to introduce that video with the world's greatest just come out
just
and skewer the fuck out of themselves. Be like, we fucked up, guys. Here's what we meant to show you at BlizzCon. Like, fuck, do it that way. Do the whole thing. Go the whole hog. Be all like, fucking Steve the intern put in the wrong fucking video at BlizzCon and we fucked up and we just roll with it. Right? That's how I would fucking love them for that. I reckon that'd be amazing.
What if they come out and they're like, we fucked up. Diablo 4 is coming and it's going to be free for everybody.
That'd work.
It's free to play.
That'd work. People would love that. Yeah, free to play and it's mobile only. Yeah,
we heard you. It's not on mobile. It's now on tablet. Or console. It's just a console.
It's on Switch.
It's on Switch exclusive.
No, 3DS. Yeah. Anyway, no, I actually think the fuck you, Steve the intern. He goofed up. We put the wrong thing out. This is what we meant to show you at BlizzCon. That'd work. I think that would legitimately work. It'd be a bit risky. Maybe not super professional, and they'd be treading a pretty fine line. But I think it'll win a lot of people over.
I think it'll win some people over. There's still many people who are going to be pissed off that it wasn't shown at their fan event.
There's no way you win them over, though. I don't there is literally no way you ever win them over. But I think it'll win over a lot of it'll get a lot of goodwill out of people who were sort of yeah, this is a dick move, but aren't full blown fuck Blizzard yet, you know?
Sure.
Baz continues. In hindsight, they should have announced new gameplay or whatever on Diablo 4 and had the mobile game as subsidiary announcements. In my opinion, the only way to correct this is to be more transparent with current Diablo projects and apologize for not doing so at BlizzCon. Yeah. And yeah, that's basically it. Good stuff, Baz. Johnny Bravo writes, hey, gents, with the announcement of cosmetic changes in Siege, would you consider it a worthwhile activity for a gaming news site to fund some Gap journalists a trip to Southeast Asia to explore the sex and gambling or lack of culture to get to the core of the problem and allow the Siege community to understand. P.S. I'm happy to join you as a guide. I know some places in Thailand. I actually do think that it would be a worthwhile activity for us to tour Asia, checking out all the best sexy spots. And
Maybe not China.
Gambling dens. Thailand. We'll start low,
Right.
and then we'll build our way to China. China's got Macau, right?
What if we go to, is it Malaysia? We start there because isn't the Dota this weekend? It's soon.
Okay, we can do
have
that.
To leave like right now.
Fair enough. Okay, away we go.
Thanks, Johnny Bravo, for funding this trip.
Yeah, thank you, JB. It's much appreciated, and you can come along as a guide if you also fund your own journey. Otherwise, I'm afraid we're gonna have to turn it down.
Yeah,
because we can't go
Ethics.
unchaperoned. Yeah, it wouldn't be ethical. All right, good stuff. Some big questions. Obviously, some Diablo fans. I didn't realize Baz was such a huge Diablo fan. I thought he was a BMing in Rocket League fan.
I thought he was just exclusively Fortnite, just all the time.
Yeah, he does love Fortnite. And yeah.
He hasn't played any Black Ops.
Oh, I haven't seen him play Black Ops with us. No. He's too good for us, I guess.
He's too good racing cars. Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right. That's it. That's the podcast. Let's wrap it up.
That's the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, under the Gap or the GA Podcast. You can rate and review us, helps other people find the show. Muchly appreciate everyone does that. You can also email us questions if you like to, the gapodcast@gmail.com. We don't have any from anyone this week, but we've got some PR emails I need to look at. Yep. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/GA Podcast, twitter.com/GA Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. You can watch the video right now. It is youtube.com/GA Podcast. It's got us talking.
Yeah.
You can look at
Joab's showing face.
Wonderful. Yeah, look at that. That's amazing. It's beautiful. Right there. Everyone at home loves it. All right, and we're back now. You can do that, youtube.com/GA Podcast, and you can subscribe. Subscribe. And hit the like button, because it means that eventually maybe we can get paid for this on YouTube. That'd be good. And then we can go to Southeast Asia. Take everybody.
Yep.
This.
The Gap
tours. That PewDiePie money.
Gap sex tours of Southeast Asia.
Yeah. You can also find us on Discord if you want to jump on and play games or just send us messages like Baz and
Racy,
Johnny Bravo,
and JB.
Racy.
Yep.
Yeah. The GApodcast.com/Discord. You can jump in there and play some Blackout, or maybe some Fallout 76 next week, or maybe some Battlefield 5.
Battlefield 5, 1000%. I got mine preloaded.
Right.
You got yours?
No, I don't have it yet.
Sort your fucking shit out. Choppity chop.
Speak to somebody. I don't know anyone over there. What else we got here? Oh, you got our website, thegapodcast.com. Has all the episodes to our previous shows on there, including all the links we just talked about just then. And that's all thanks to our Patreon members. If you want to help support this show, you can go to patreon.com/thegapodcast. Appreciate everyone that does that every month.
You're the best.
Helps pay the bills.
Yes.
And I think that's it. Have you got anything you want to pimp out this week that you've been doing?
Yeah, check out those Overwatch articles I was talking about on Red Bull. We will have Nate has written a Battlefield 5 piece that will be up on embargo, which I believe is midnight, so check that out on Red Bull. And I'm writing some stuff up about the League of Origin, the League of Legends League of Origin, which is the state versus state stuff. I interviewed all the captains and I did my best to get them to shit talk one another. Victoria was not very forthcoming, but the rest of them were pretty good with the old shit talk.
Right.
They need, I'm going to say it again, they need someone, a professional shit talker, They need someone to come in who, it doesn't matter if they can play games very well, they just need to shit talk on a high level to really like ramp up the shit talking. Victoria were like, yeah, even Queensland could get up. I'm like, oh, New South Wales said that Queensland were probably going to lose every game. And Victoria was like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess, anything can happen in League of Legends. So you don't want to, say anything like, Queensland's dog shit. Queensland is dog shit, because then it might come back and bite you. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to pull quote the part where you said Queensland is dog shit, and I'll make that your title.
Right.
And he's like, oh no, don't do that. He was like super nervous. I don't understand.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. What about you? What do you got?
You can find me at twitter.com/Luke Lawrie. I don't know. What have I been posting up there lately? Just nothing. Anyway.
Sweet.
You can go to Stevivor.com, check out some of my work there. My interview.
Stevivor.
Oh, yeah, that place.
Stevivor.
So, yeah, one of the places we got credited was GameSpot.
Yep.
Posted an article about our video. And they said it was like, all thanks to Luke Lawrie. And you got pretty upset about that.
Unbelievable. I don't get no respect. Yeah. No regard, neither.
Don't get no respect.
No.
So, yeah, you can go to that website. Not GameSpot. You can go to Stevivor.com.
Yeah.
See my work. My interviews with Pete Hines, where we talked about how they, this is funny. I asked him about how they announce video games and like specifically how they announce like Fallout Shelter and then followed that up with Fallout 4 and then even going further along talking about like talking about Fallout 76 but then announcing TES 6 and Starfield. Like, these aren't our fully fledged games that you expect from us. This is something a little bit different, but on the other hand, yes, we are still working on these other games. And I asked him this like 2 weeks ago at PAX, and then this fucking Blizzard thing blew up, and I was like, this is perfect. This is so good. Jeez. And in it, he talks about how like we know our audience, we don't want people to get upset and like feisty with us, and yeah, so it's that I think will be pretty good, that one. So
gold.
It is gold.
When's it up?
Anyways. I've been transcribing it because I was sick last week. I only started transcribing it again like Tuesday.
Just send it to rev.com. It'll be already done, mate. What the fuck?
Oh, no,
we should get sponsored by rev.com.
We should.
Just sponsor us in fucking minutes. Sponsor us in transcription minutes, and we can like pimp rev.com at the start of every episode or whatever. Fuck, I'll do it. Fuck yeah, give me like 23 minutes a week. Holy shit. I hate transcribing. I fucking hate it. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can do it, but the thing is that it's 30-minute interviews, and I like pull quote certain bits, and I'll do this one. And there's stuff in there that I can't use because I'm like, it's just not worth it. It's not the answer I was after, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's easy for me to transcribe, so it doesn't take long. It's just I need to get off my ass and do it. Anyway, it'll be up. It'll be up shortly.
Or if you paid $1 per minute, you could get rev.com to do it, and then you wouldn't have to get off your ass and do anything. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Rev.com. Rev.com, I'm telling you. Rev.com. For all your transcription needs.
They're not paying us yet.
I'm showing them what they could get if they did, if they paid us. 20 minutes a week, I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
For everybody that listens and transcribes all that stuff, maybe they could transcribe this show. And then we can caption it on YouTube.
Look at how good they are. This is what they transcribed. Our 3 hours.
3 hours. How long does it take to 3 hours?
$180. Fucking hell.
That is, we are not making that much money.
We could, oh my God, though. We could not, like, if we could get our 20 minutes a week each, right? And then pull them together, right? Over like 6 weeks, if we didn't transcribe anything and pull them all together, we could just dump it and be like, here you go.
And cut out all the spaces in between. And our 3 hour podcast is now an hour and 80 minutes.
Right.
But it's super quick. It's just us talking constantly.
We just like speed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're going to slow it down anyway, right? It's genius. Right. Anyway.
It's so good.
All right.
That's a show. That's it. Thanks for watching or listening or whatever you're doing.
The Gap, sponsored by rev.com.
No.
Not yet. Soon.
No one can see you winking.